Yeah, it
All right,
doesn't matter. I don't remember anyway.
you don't, I know. All right, so where we left off, previously your group had been tasked to travel north into Havelock Forest by a previous member of the Guild of Letters. Um, um, Loosely previous. Foreign. He tasked you to find his son, Waynon, in which you succeeded along venturing through the infamous ruins of Thine. Along your adventures through the ancient ruins, you also sadly lost not one but two of your party members, which held the grim reality of the previous adventures experienced that you've heard of. Uh, but now, without discovering that the powers within the ruins had also given you some abilities as well, uh, triggered by this mysterious machine that had been activated while you were in. After leaving the ruins, you made your way back. I'm sorry, you begin to make your way back to Vanier with the remaining explorers that Waynon had traveled with. Along the way, you find the ancient automaton that somehow seemed to breathe life as you activate it, and you decided to continue on with a new party member, essentially, that you dubbed Foxy. Essentially a construct with some sort of druidic powers with her as well. After the next few days, you reached the road that essentially would take you back to Vanier. Not before encountering marauders, these marauding barbarians essentially that dealt with strange blood magic. And during that encounter with these savages, you were met with a platoon of soldiers that were from the kingdom's army that intercepted and slayed these ravagers rapidly. It was when you met Lieutenant Inus, the commander of the second platoon that Theo had essentially spoke to in the majority of the travels when you guys met him. You find out that he's also the last son of the Inus family, which you know as the princedom that you're in right now. He's actually one of the princedom families of the region. You know that Lothesi itself has different princedoms. Each one of them comes from a lineage that hold the crown, essentially. After making yourself acquainted with Lieutenant Inus, you've all agreed to let him escort you all the way to the nearest outpost en route to Veneer. With some trepidations, you all followed him with amidst Mechanicus, basically going through an episode of dementia, risking the party's like true intentions as May and some of the others try to help to mitigate possible altercations. After you made camp, May had the opportunity to meditate, and somehow during her meditation, she met with her mentor, Master Ration, in which he describes that you were transported spiritually into this plane, which he calls the Drift, which he reveals where he found May actually when she was a child, and something that she did not remember. She was just a child drifting in this spiritual river, essentially of light. After Master Raishan enlightened May with the truth, they proceed to beat each other in this corporeal state that they were in, and pretty much as a old remembrance of having you with him once again, you guys go ahead and spar within this drift that he speak of, this spiritual rift, essentially. After music. After taking shelter the next morning, you were escorted back to the nearest outpost, and then is when you all set off to the remaining journey back to Vanier. And what maybe took you another 2 to 3 hours on the familiar road, you see the sun begin to set. The west, You see on the east portion on the road the rolling mist cascading from the now red cliff, as you can see, painted by the reddish amber hue from the sun as it begins to dip towards the horizon. And in front of you, you see the various plumes of smoke coming from the silhouette of Vanier, now about a good mile off walk. You hear Thumric within the group. We shall meet in the Lucky Stump, actually. He promised to seek lodging there till he's got word of our arrival. He shall give you all the promised coin he spoke of, now that Waynon's with us. From that point on, as the few minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes on this route, the sun feels like it's finally beyond your perspective as you begin to see more of the dark hues coming from the east, and just a subtle glow of orange on the west. You begin to walk through Vanier. Just like you left it, this rural place with dense, cluttered buildings all over. Being that it's nighttime, you don't notice the immediate sense of pedestrians. It's more along the lines people are kind of going out about their business towards home and ending their tasks for tonight. As you can see, some of them kind of just doing their last minute touch-ups for work. Begin to approach the square that you had once imagined having a trial by fire. You can still see the smoldering ash kind of charred on that portion of the cobbled floor. Nobody really pays no mind. You see the explorers that are with you now. They begin to talk amongst each other. You guys are finally within civilization, no longer outside. You suck with all that noise, by the way. And you see Waynon at this point speaking with just the remaining few as well. You see some of them part ways, all kind of separate directions. You can see at this point they're already managing where they want to go from here on out. You see some of them coming towards you, telling you thank you. Without having you guys there to save us, we would never return back home, and I don't think I'm gonna see any adventuring from here on out in the future.
Well, you should have never seen any in the first place. You should have never gone to that place. 2 of our friends are dead because of your ignorance.
You see him bring his head down.
Do you think staring at the ground is going to bring them back? Your stupidity has cost lives.
I'm not saying you are wrong.
Of course I'm not wrong.
You see some of them just like walking now. It's like, oh, we're not going to take any more of this old man talk, like just yelling at us. But that one that you're speaking to, that like right in front of you, there's nothing I can do. I know this. But just telling you now, if there was something that I can do for your hurt and your pain from losing your loved ones, as I have myself, I can only tell you that it will only get better with time. But my apologies can never surmount the pain that I carry with me, because I do feel partly responsible, of course. He reaches into his satchel, and he pulls out what looks like the remains of a what looks like an emerald gem. You can see that it's partly cracked. This is the best I can offer for my troubles, or for your troubles actually, and I thank you all.
I'll
And
take
I hope
that.
good fortune in the future for you.
I'll take that. But don't be too hard on yourself. You're only so young. Just remember to learn from these mistakes.
He just gives you a short nod and goes off. You see Waynon still with the party, of course. Umric is amongst the remaining of what's left there. You see Waynon off the corner. He's speaking with a very direct approach, speaking to Trina, just off of earshot. There's a sense, those that notice, you could see that there is a definite look of shame coming from Trina, actually. And you see Roland, the older gentleman with the prosthetic arm. You see him with Trina, and they're both actually walking off. Roland, by the way, Mechanicus, gives you a smirk. Not that of maliciousness, but just a warm-hearted smile towards you. And he just tips his hat and walks off with Trina. You guys right now are in front of the Lucky Stump, the inn that you have previously stayed in.
I start looking around to see if I see anybody. I'm looking for his name, Garion.
Garion?
Yeah, or his
Gary.
henchman.
Right,
I'm
right.
like looking for him.
Go ahead and roll a perception. You're just doing it outside, like before going in.
Yeah. I'm looking outside, and then I'm eventually gonna work my way. I'm kind of in a business mindset.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and roll a perception check. Let me know what you roll. By the way, Austin, whenever you roll something, just go ahead and say it instead of just because I don't record with the results in my overlay. So if we say it, we know what we had, essentially.
I rolled an 8.
So you're saying in the respects of, like, let's say I roll a perception and I say I got a 17, correct?
You say it, yes.
Okay.
Right. What was that, Theo?
Rolled an 8.
An 8. No, it just you can see that there are a fair amount of people, like I said, going about their business. Not in the manner of how it would be in the daytime, as far as how busy their current square is right now, but there are just a few they're going about their mundane businesses, essentially. I'm sorry, there's no visual perspective. You think you could see, like, you're there not only looking for Gary, you're probably looking for his henchmen that are kind of like towering over him too. What you do see, though, just not too far from the entrance to the Lucky Stump, you see a gathering happening. You see a couple of individuals just gawking, like in this decently sized huddle. There's a couple of people that's like running towards that direction, like passing by earshot. You can hear them say, "Well, I've never seen anything like it before," and then you can see them running, like with another person with them, running towards this huddle that they're at.
Well, that's definitely gonna pique mine and Hellscream's interest.
Okay, and what are the rest of you doing, Mechanicus and May?
I'm gonna go inside the Lucky Stump.
All right. And Mechanicus?
I'm actually gonna pull him by the arm.
Hold on, I gotta roll my dice.
Oh no, you already had an episode.
I'm
Damn it!
gonna say I'll let you know when we're gonna do that. I know since you just came from the
Dice determine the rules.
nothing triggered you to roll. That's why I'm telling you. Certain
I just
events
had
with certain events,
post-traumatic stress.
yes, with certain events, I'll make sure to let you know
I rolled
this
a
is a
19.
good time to roll.
I
All right.
take him by the arm. I'm like, Mechanicus, I have to talk to you about something that happened before we came here to Veneer, and I need your wisdom in regarding it.
Child, 2 of our friends are dead. There's nothing else to talk about.
I'm not talking
We
about that.
traded Meliodas and Jillian for a cracked emerald. Do you understand that? Does that mean nothing to any of you? Is life so worthless?
And then he just storms off going into the inn.
May
All
holds back from smacking him, but shortly follows after him.
All right. So the both of you begin to enter the lucky stump. Theo, as you begin to approach this short mass of just a small crowd, essentially in a circle, as you begin to approach and push your way through. I mean, fairly easy. You got Hellscream just manhandling people, just with his thick arms, just clearing a path for you just to go right through. You go in. You could see that there is a beautifully crafted construct with very large, thin metallic wheels. There's a that meet in the middle with an axis, and you could see the motorized, all the mechanical parts, the intricacy of what looks like a vehicle, a very crude looking one. With within the middle, you could see that there's like this what looks like some sort of copper brass looking seat with like a really crude looking piece of padding, like made out of like leather. You can see that there's like switches. There's no wheel. There are like switches that you can pull back and forth within this, and you can see in the top or in the back portion, where you would imagine is the back, there's a large chimney, like a really tall chimney. About it sits up a good 5 feet from the person that you would imagine sitting. You could see that. You could see that automatically with your background and knowledge. You could see that this is something of steam powered. You've read about it. You've studied about steam power. You guys don't really use steam power, but you know of it, and you could see right away what this is. And you can see like there's a guy with a old newsboy hat, like with suspenders on, and he's just like they're showing like what does this, and he's like, this lever here, this one dictates if I'm gonna go left or right. So you can pull left as you pull back, and you will hit the left side. And he's like explaining to this one guy that's like really wondrous right now, and they're like, oh, this is a work of art. We've never seen anything like it. And they're just a bunch of people just really gawking at this right now.
Do I notice any kind of relation to the magic or the engineering related to the ruins of Nine, like how that was connected to that the golem, or how that
Oh, you're talking.
What I'm saying? That yeah.
You're talking about there was the ruined stone golem.
Yeah.
There was a stone golem, but that was definitely not
straight magic.
You know that because it had the gem, it had the mikra in in its core. You definitely know the difference between what power sources are and how they work. So
okay.
you know that this is far from it. It's not
Gotcha.
that of magic. This is more of engineering and with resources that someone had crafted.
How about with Voxy? I'm looking behind
Voxy?
Yeah.
You have a sense that she has a core similar to that of that ruined stone golem that you ran into. You have a
Okay.
sense. You're not sure.
At this point, like since we're going to a crowd, I'm making sure either with uh Hellscream's cloak or something, I'm just covering Voxy up. So
Okay.
that way, because she's behind Hellscream's back
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So I'm like noticing that. I'm like, okay, let me just kind of hide this, just so I don't want people to make a connection or think like, this is part
yeah.
of
As
it.
soon as you pull something over like a sheet, Voxy, you can see right away like she's like confused of what's happening. Like there's like no, this is really hard to discern like what her emotions are portrayed, because she doesn't have a normal
It's a
face.
stoic face, right?
Yeah, so
right.
it's just kind of wondrous what's going on, and then you just you cover it. There's a faint glow coming from underneath, but it's not like that of like a lantern or anything.
No,
very faint.
it's just faint. But even though I'm noticing, I'm putting my hand right over that source of light, just to kind of double check. And as I'm doing that, I'm looking at the guy and I say, "Sir, can you explain what this contraption does?"
Oh, we have another person interested. This is what we are calling an automobile. Well, I guess steam powered. I mean, we've kind of trying to figure out. This is kind of like a rough draft. It's really more of a concept. We really haven't figured out exactly how to make it more resourceful. This is more like the first step. We've come all the way from Nuremberg, actually, and we've come here for perhaps investors and to see that this new technology, this innovation with travel shall be the future. Perhaps we can have those, with deep pockets. Any of you perhaps want to add into add a how you say? I'm losing words here as a DM right now. Essentially, he's just telling you that he's looking for investors. He's showing you what does what. He's like, this switch over here determine the speed you go in. Unfortunately, the speeds kind of vary of how much power. It just kind of takes this is kind of in the early works, as we are still trying to figure out the usage of coal and how much the production of steam comes out of it. There is a few steam tanks that we are still in the process of developing for longer travel, we would say. By the way, this guy that you're speaking to now is not that the guy that was demonstrating earlier. The other one that looks more of a younger person with a newsboy hat, white shirt, suspenders. This one has a top hat, and he has a very pointy handlebar mustache, just pointing out. This person's a little more in the middle age. You can see that there is a more white fuzzies around the hair underneath the top hat. You can tell that he probably painted his mustache, as it's like he's clean shaven, but his mustache is pitch black compared like to the hair on his head.
Could I do like just assess his credibility, just independent, like kind of?
Go
what
ahead.
Would that be like?
Make a insight. Make an insight check.
Yeah, insight, right?
Yeah,
okay.
That way you can just see. He looks like he's I mean, from what you hear, he's saying the right words essentially.
Right.
But go ahead and roll insight, and if that's what you trying to figure out.
Yeah, I got a 10.
A 10. He seems like he knows somewhat of what's going on. You're not sure if he's like an engineer, but you get the feeling that he knows enough to perhaps make a sale. Like that's probably what he's there for. As you look at the other guy, you can see the other guy. You can see he's visually. You can see he's a little more dirtier. You can see that he's working like certain things. This guy looks more clean cut. He's wearing like a suit jacket essentially, and This guy looks like he's there to promote it, and the other guy is just like the engineer that probably came along with him, as you can tell.
All right. And I ask him, do you mind if I assess this on my own?
Oh, well, be my guest. You may look. But please, don't try to activate anything. I mean, we still kind of trying to work out the kinks, and we still trying to promote it as it is. And last thing I need is to have some complications before we present it.
Yes, sure, understood, man. I just want to take a look around, just to understand the technology.
Of course. As you do so, you're just looking at it. You can see.
I want to see like how it I can make it better without telling him.
Gotcha.
Just to
Go
see
ahead.
if it's a possible to make it work. Because I'm like, wow, this is amazing, but I'm trying to hide my excitement.
Right. Go ahead and make an investigation check. Actually.
Okay, hopefully I'm done with my shitty rolls.
You know what? You can make it with advantage because this is things you've dealt with. Begin with. Excuse me. The technology is there beyond just the steam engine, but everything else, the way it's designed, you have a good understanding of. Sure.
A 20.
A 20. Yeah. I mean, you what he had mentioned kind of hits the mark as far as there is perhaps the reservoir of like where the steam tank should be, and depending on the design itself can definitely improve the overall design itself to make it more functional, perhaps in this long distance aiming at essentially what they want with it. As you guys are there, you know everyone kind of just not scattered. They're still kind of around gawking at it. Back into the lucky stump. May and Mechanicus, as you walk in, Thumric is already in there. You can see that he's talking to an older individual that's sitting down in a table within the middle of Lucky Stump. You can see that Thomas, the chiseled jaw, younger guy that was the bartender. You can see that he's there tending to whatever patrons behind while he's behind the bar. You can see he's taking certain orders. You can see that there's other individuals in there as well having perhaps their evening meal. There's a couple of individuals smoking some cigarettes by the fireplace, and you can see that the quote unquote lucky stump. You could see that it's different. Instead of what used to be just a flat surface of what used to be a tree from what they cut off, you could see that there is something else growing from it. You could see that is at its infancy, right at the core in the middle of this stump, sitting a good 3 feet up from it. You can see that there is the what looks like perhaps a small tree with like a couple of leaves at the end, just a small little tiny ones, which is also surrounded, not enough to be completely covered, but surrounded more than the last time you came here by a few that are just inquisitive of what's going on with this used to be dead tree, quote unquote, with some sort of mystic behind it. Indoors, but something's growing from it. You see beyond that, of course, Foreign speaking with Waynon. You can see that he's there is some sort of argument between the two. Like they you can see that they have a purpose while they're talking to each other. You can see that there is some sort of a good sense of anger coming from Foreign as he's speaking with them as well. But as you guys walk in and get this visual, what do you guys do?
Mechanicus is going to wade through the crowd and go rub the stump again.
Okay, so you start going through it. You hear Thomas. Oh, hey, that's 5 gold. If you're gonna pay. And he just, while he's saying that, you just continue on.
Yeah, he just acts like don't even hear him. Matter of fact, probably don't. He don't care.
Yeah, you could see him. He just gives up, like, past couple of days. It seems like he's frustrated because it's probably been happening a lot. As you go towards it and you touch.
He's like messing with the leaves on the new part of the tree, and like investigating it.
So what you approach it around the lucky stump. What used to be like stone, like this stone. I say a formation that was once around it. You could see that not only it was placed properly at one point around the stump. That way, if any individual want to sit on this stone ledge, essentially, could just reach over and touch it. Now you can see that stone ledge is slightly raised. And not only raised, you can see that's kind of breaking apart from where you imagine like the ground is kind of shifting underneath. As you approach it, you say you want to just investigate it?
Yeah, he's gonna investigate it, like, rub on it like he did the first time. I mean, he knows what he does at this point.
Okay, I mean, you can touch it if that's what you do. I mean, if you reach out, you touch it. As you do so, you don't feel that reinvigorating sense that you once had anymore. It almost feels like you already feel that. Like previously when you touched it, it was different, but now it's more along the lines like it felt like it's lost its power somehow.
That is interesting. Does he feel like that?
Which is kind of gives you questions, because now that ever since you've came out of the ruins, when you go rest, you feel more. You feel like you recover differently. You recover like the way you did when you touched the stump. Put it that way.
So does it feel to him more like maybe he gained power like from residual magic from the machine we found, or does it feel like the stump actually lost its power?
You know what? Go ahead and make an Arcana check, actually, for that.
It's my only weakness.
Right.
15.
15. You have a sense that what happened in the ruins triggered something even this far, and perhaps whatever residual magic that came from the ruin. For instance, you're different coming out of the ruins. You have a sense of power you never had before. There's essentially this improvement in how you feel. This plain and simple. But you also feel from that investigation, this arcanic knowledge, as you trying to figure out what's going on here. The powers that came from the ruins is more or less the regional now, as opposed to just what you remembered when you touched the stump. The stump itself gave you that rejuvenation before. Now it's just you feel like you're getting that regardless.
So it's kind of like magic is returned to the land.
You feel that way, for sure.
This is quite interesting. I must respond to this.
And he's going to, even though it's not his anymore, he's going to go back to the room that he rented when we were here the first time, and just open the door and make his self at home.
You go to it, and you open it, and you hear a scream, "Oh!" And you see a guy and a girl like trying to like get it on. What the? And you see him get frustrated. Hey, this is our room. We still have it for the next few hours. Get out! And he just going
Get out of my room. This is my room. I have to first.
they're both just started. They're both like not even fully naked. They're just like halfway, like getting there. They're just like in the groove, and they you see that there's this huge frustration from the guy, and he's like starting to try to shove you out. He's like, "Get out of here!" And he's essentially trying to shove you out.
Plant his feet. Mechanicus plants his feet, and he's going to drop his bag on the ground.
I promise you, this will be much more uncomfortable for you than it will be for me.
And he's going to start taking his clothes off.
You see the woman at this point, which is a older woman, to this younger looking guy, which is odd at first view. You see her just look at you and just starts picking up her things and covering whatever she feels exposed, and she's walking off now, like trying to put her shoes on. She's like, the guy, you hear the guy at this point, wait, no. Oh.
You may want to follow her if you want to get your nibbly bits wet. Now,
you know how much I paid? And he just walks off, just furious.
Thank you for paying, but this is my room.
And then he's going to close the door. And then he actually does strip naked and then lays out on the bed with his journal and starts studying his notes.
All right.
He covers up with his nutsack to keep warm.
May, you when you enter in, and you see Mechanicus just walk off, like originally when you see him walk off towards the stump, you hear what someone gossiping amongst each other. You hear this one individual say, "Well, it seems like the land has been kind of crawling with these weird creatures that no one's ever heard of or seen before. A couple of the hunters have gone missing. Yay. Oh, we still have not seen Joel's. Joseph's not come back yet. Well, he's supposed to be here a fortnight ago. Well, yeah, he was supposed to go out and carrying all the pelts that we were supposed to help deliver, but he's never arrived." And just you hear this amongst them, just this sense of there's people disappearing, and there are sightings of creatures that they've never seen before in the past week or so.
I hear like where they say, was it in the woods? Where we
they didn't
saw,
say.
Like,
they just know, like, yeah. You get the idea that because you know that Venier has a large trade for pelts, and because we're where you guys are located in Venier, this is this forest had a good it was a good region for certain stags and certain creatures that you know that they knew would sell well, basically, as far as like their furs and pelts. You get the idea that these guys are hunters, and they're talking about other hunters as well.
I'm gonna find a seat somewhere to have a meal and just kind of sit somewhere where I can kind of hear all the gossip of what's going on in town.
While you're there, you do catch the eye of Foreign, as he sees you, and he's waving towards you. Actually,
I'll head over there.
All right. You see he's sitting with Thumruk right now. You can see he's already digging in, eating from the day's journey. You see Wayne not too far off. You can see that he is distraught. There is a sense of that he's upset about something as you kind of glance over towards him. Well, I don't see the rest of your party with you, but as promised, the coin that we were investing for you to bring back my son. This is it's all in platinum. Unfortunately, I figured it just I carry lightly instead of having all gold. Really, he picks up, he puts down a decent size bag. You can hear the rattling, the coins. You can hear him crunching up as he puts it down. And he opens it up, and you can see all shiny, platinum-looking coins. That's 100 platinum right there. So that should cover the 1,000 that we had spoke of. Actually, my son mentioned that he was also going to provide with more coin. As he looks at him, after you've recovered and helped his friend. Which I don't have that amount with me now, and I know he does not have himself at the moment. But if you don't mind, perhaps waiting until tomorrow, probably in the afternoon, I can provide you with a set amount of that as well. For your troubles.
I understand that he put you into a situation. I personally don't mind waiting. Take as long as you need. May I ask, have you heard of how Brina is doing?
Oh, well, I know of the young lass that you have helped out with her mother. Her name escapes me actually, but Brina is the small girl that you helped out. I'm assuming, correct?
Yes, I asked you to escort her and her mother to the tailor shop before
I totally forgot about that.
left.
You said to the tailor shop? Oh,
Yeah, it was her friend.
he did that. Yeah, that was in
Sorry.
Holmesfirth. That was in Holmesfirth.
How do
Yeah.
you remember that detail? That's crazy.
That's hilarious. See what I mean? Yeah, he says I made sure that they were escorted. I mean, I did pay some coin with some those I can help as well, and they seemed quite well, in good health. She seemed to be recovering quite well after the injury that sustained her.
I appreciate that you took care of her and escorted her to her mother's friend's place.
Much, you're welcome on that part. It's the least I can do for having you all save my son from a great peril. Well, I will meet you here, perhaps midday tomorrow, if you don't mind. I will be off with my son and Thumric. I'm so happy that you had the chance to escort these well-endowed party members. Do give my thanks to the rest of your cohort, if you don't mind.
Of course, I don't mind.
Thank you very much. You see him take one big swig from his drink and begin to leave. Theo, at this point, May, you said you are going to order something, which is fine.
Yeah.
For like a meal and a drink, that will run you a good 5 silver.
Okay.
Theo, and Hellscream, I know you were. Excuse me. I know you were kind of just scattering around. I don't know what you want to do beyond that.
Oh, we were still with the steam car thing.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to talk to the salesman and the mechanic there. I was just getting. What are your names? It seems like you have something here of value.
Oh, well, you can call me Mr. Truce. This is my astute assistant, Larry. Larry, he's kind of a mute, by the way. He only says a couple of things like, this does that. he makes me laugh. Oh, don't worry, Larry, I'm not making fun of you. You see the guy just looking at him, looking down like, what the fuck?
It's all right. It's always the quiet ones that are the most useful.
Right. Say, you seem to be one of knowledgeable of these contraptions. Am I hitting the nail on that hammer?
Yes, it's very true. You're your innate ability to know one's true purpose is uncanny. Um,
I knew it. So,
you
I imagine you perhaps have some detailed tips to Larry here. I mean, he didn't build it to know anything, but he does understand quite well.
Yes, it looks like you could fix this here, and he's kind of like showing little things here, and he's pointing out improvements. And uh, may I ask, is this is not the only prototype you have, or is this the only one?
Well, I might want to just keep that under wraps, and probably more information that you might want to know. Well, I am employed after all with guidelines.
Who is your employer?
That is something I might have to have a drink over with you. Perhaps tonight, eh?
The night is young. A man could be tired, but never too tired for drink and money.
Say it ain't so. Shortly after, you hear a screech coming from the distance outside. You hear commotion, and you hear another scream, like a shrieking scream from what would you imagine from a woman?
I grab Hellscreen and I start running towards that location. You know, where is it, inside or it's further out
It's
into
further
the town?
out.
How? Okay.
It's a good distance, put it that way. There's a sense where you see some of the individuals kind of running around trying to figure out what's happening. There is a moment where you're looking and you feel like you're probably in the area where it probably originated, and you see what looks like a young man. You can see that he looks like he's mauled. There's like a giant scratch going across his through his face down to his chest. And you can see like there's a couple of individuals looking over him like, what was that? What could have done this? You see a woman like crying. You see a few individuals running, trying to look, like seemingly like looking to look for help. There is another moment as you're looking over. You see above you. There's a moment where on the structures that you're within this alley, these buildings around you, you hear loud crunching footsteps, like, and then as you look up into darkness, you see something just jump across from one building to another, one of the structures. These are good 20 feet up, like these structural places. You can see what looks like
this
a
on the
blurred
rooftops.
dark figure. Huh?
On the rooftops of the.
Yes. Yeah, you see one look to jump from one to another. And people noticed that as well because the noise was loud enough.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking around. Followed by another one. And this one, smaller than the first blur that you saw, you see leap across onto another building. The same route. Looks like it was following whatever you saw first.
Does it look like one was chasing the other?
Yeah, it looked like a smaller individual was after that bigger blur that you saw, which the other thing you saw was heavier as you hear the footsteps. Followed by more screams and shouting now. As you coming back from this square, you hear there is more commotion going on. May, inside, you start hearing people talk about what's happening outside. Something's going on, and you see people running from outside the door. You can see some of the patrons inside the the lucky stump, the end. You can see them start, like a few get up and they just rush out. Theo, you with another scream comes from another direction, probably like towards the northern part of the wall. There's a few, not as loud as the other one, but there is this sense that it feels like it's farther from what you hear, like people screaming and yelling.
Are there any soldiers nearby, or?
Not yet, but you can hear some of the individuals saying like, "Oh, what do we do? Just get the authority." And you could see some of them, like I said, you can see some trying to get help. As back at the lucky stump, you see on the top of it, jump onto the shingles, this figure with four. You can see the silhouette as you could see what looks very much like a large cat with what looks like a mane, and you can see the eyes now reflecting. It's dark. You can't really see its features, but you see the eyes reflecting, looking around. You can hear a growl. You hear coming from another direction too, but this one, as you look on the other side, you can see it's jumping from one to another, and as it does so, you see it jump what you think a large leap that it would have not made, and in mid leap, you see wings come out from its hind side as it lands on the other structure, like a good 60 feet from it, from where it originally jumped from. As you see that one dive down into what you imagine, into whatever alley that was, as you hear screams coming from that as well. The one that was on top of the lucky stump, just you hear just running off. It runs off another direction. Mechanicus, you just look up. There's dust just falling all over you. You can hear the loud slams of the foot stomps from whatever they're seeing outside.
What's in the neck? He reaches over. He don't have it anymore. He's just screaming like curses and obscenities at the ceiling.
All right. This point,
does he feel anything like magical or something? Like while he's later, does it feel like a magical creature? Just like,
no, you don't. I mean, you're just minding your business. You're going through your books, and I don't know where it's like this slam, like this loud noise coming from on the top of where you are, and dust gets kicked off, and you can feel like not just dust, like there's like some small debris falling on you.
Gotcha.
Not enough to hurt you, but
he's like concerning. Screaming obscenities and shit, and if there's a window, he's gonna like run to the window and look out.
As you look out, you can see people running everywhere chaotically. You don't know, like you can tell, like it's like they don't know what's happening. Everyone's just running randomly. And as you continue to look, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay, let's see. 10.
You just see people running. You don't know what's going on. You hear, but you do hear them. Some of them yelling. You could tell that there is something happening where it's grabbing everyone's attention. Everyone's going frantic. Theo, this point, you see coming down this large creature. Now it goes into the ground level, the street level, on the off corner of the town square. You can see now what looks like a large looking lion creature with a humanoid face, with this face of pure nightmares, as it opens its mouth, and you could see rows of teeth. You could see it growl, and as it jumps, you could see with its tail, you could see it whip its tail as you see thorns, these that are protruding from the end of the tail, whipping out just towards pedestrians, and you see like 2 of them fall as some of the others are running off right now, screaming for their lives. With that, you see jumping, leaping from the roof of where it just came from. You see this figure in a long coat jump down and land right on top of it. Omen, go ahead and explain what they see.
You're muted, bro.
You're muted. You're mute.
And we all speak sign language.
Oh, okay, my bad. So, basically, you see a younger, like 15, 16-year-old boy. You could definitely see he's much younger, and it's kind of skinny, little live, and he's got like picture perfect face, like no acne, no like he doesn't. It looks strangely plastic, almost perfect, and you can see that he is just like hyped up right now. He's
Like
wearing
on
like
drugs? Like is he like manic?
no, like excited, like
Okay.
like chaotic, like yes, like he's ready for something.
You see this figure jump onto this large feline creature. As he jumps on its back, you can see like its wings, like feathered, like ruffles, and pulls off as he just tumbles onto it and rolls off its back, holding what you can see a double barrel. What does he do?
Immediately, Theo like raises an eyebrow, like, "Whoa."
I will shoot the double barrel. Are we under? Are we doing what's it called? Proficiency or?
It's already in your character sheet. If you look in the middle of it, I should say double barrel right under your other weapon.
Oh, am I rolling for this right now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, just go ahead and roll for it.
Okay, gotcha.
Right now we're just doing loose.
Okay.
Initiative.
Sure.
Everyone kind of take action in what they're trying to do right now. As Theo, you see this individual just land on this creature, and he rolls off of it as he pulls up his double barrel shotgun. You could see like it's the much larger longer rifles that you've seen certain individuals use for hunting, essentially.
Right. Can I tell if it's modified? Is it modified weapon?
It has a few things modified to it. Like the stock is definitely shorter than it normally would be to support a smaller frame, for instance. The sling is on the backside, so usually the trigger is towards like, if you have it slinged over, like towards the body, but it's elsewhere. It looks like you put it in a really weird location, just with the strap. But basically, that's the only thing different from a normal twin barrel shotgun.
So as I'm seeing him do, like I'm kind of doing like the cock head, like what? How's that happening?
You see, in
and
the
you can also see that
where it says attacks and spellcasting, Austin.
Yeah, I rolled a 16 to hit.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh, I didn't type it here.
Yeah, no, you just click on where it says double barrel, and it does it automatically for you. There you go.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So, the shotgun does have the 2, so I'm gonna take the first 2 as you cock it, and you fire off the 22, the first one as it strikes, and you see its wings just get peppered with all these pot shots going through it. You see feathers just coming off as you hear a large groaning. The second one, as it tries to evade, you cock it once again. You aim and you fire. 21 does hit again as it takes another 11 damage as you pepper it from the back. As you see it like skid off to the side, it hits the wall as it's trying to run, and then it goes off and it disappears into an alley right now. Theo, what do you do?
If it just left, I'm just kind of running to see where it went, but going towards the individual who just attacked it.
Okay.
Am I still on the beast?
No, you landed on it and then like fell off and then like fired.
Yeah.
Okay.
You fired it from the floor, like he was on the floor, kind of.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to picture all this.
Theo, you do see as you start running, you do see that there's another one just lands on one of the other structures as it's looking around, scanning around.
How far is it? That one that's looking up.
This one's a good 60, 70 feet from you, as you can see it on the top of the 15 to 20 foot structure.
Okay, so I'm kind of waving at Hellscream, and then I'm looking at this guy on the floor. Nice shot.
Shit, I didn't kill it.
You gotta aim to between the eyes next time.
Yeah, too messy. Trying to figure out what this thing is. What's your name?
Oh, my name's Theo, but this is Hellscream.
Theo and Hellscream.
So explain how Theo looks, by the way, Miguel, as this person you're talking to looking upon him.
He looks like Middle Eastern, salt and pepper, beard and medium long hair, and he's kind of got, you see, like, he's got some pistols on him. One special one that's kind of more ornate and a little bigger than the other ones, and he's got like bullets, kind of, I forget what they call, bandoliers, kind of like modified bandoliers,
bandoliers,
and just a long like a overcoat with a cloak over it.
And then next to him, you see a large man with a hat, kind of like a straw hat over, just silhouetting over above him, like just casting the shadow. And underneath, you could see that there is this mask, this really unnerving mask that he wears. Right away, you get the sense that this person comes from the Badlands. It's a mark that's kind of common with certain clans in the Badlands. You can tell that this person comes from that area. He just wears like heavy stocked armor, and he's holding a large halberd as well. And he just nods at you, Austin.
Thank God.
He doesn't talk much, but
all right.
You following this thing?
Yes. Would you like to come with me? And we'll see what the fuck that thing was. And we off.
May, what do you do as you see now the commotion? You see people running out. You see some of them running in as well. Like, you can see that he's holding his arm. As you can see protruding from his arm, what looks like a large spinal-looking sharp object.
I pushed past everyone and rushed outside. Did I hear the thump that came from the roof?
Yeah, absolutely. You heard it. You didn't hear as much as Mechanicus did because he was like right under it, but you definitely heard and felt like this heavy creature, whatever it was, land on it and begin to run off the roof. As you rush outside, you see far off a good 35 feet or so, you see Hellscream and Theo both interacting with another individual. As soon as you step out, you do notice off onto one of the buildings, you could see something leaping from one building to another.
In the same direction as Theo and them, or in a opposite direction?
It's off put. Like it looks like they were about to, like Theo and Hellscream and this other individual looked like they were gonna hit one area, and as you look at this creature, it's almost opposite from where they were going.
I'm going to note where that one's going, and I'm going to make my way towards Theo and Hellscream.
Okay, so you start rushing off towards them as you with your quick monk feet, you get there pretty quickly.
And as she's coming, I'm just like, kind of catching her up and telling her that the city's being attacked by these feline creatures.
I saw one by the monkey stump go in that direction, the opposite direction, leap off a building.
We just injured one. We're after it right now. Come.
Hi.
He's got a shotgun.
And I reload the shotgun. Just note.
What's that?
The
It shoots.
It's like what you have?
Yes, but bigger.
It's
More powerful.
wider spread for shorter range. Really, it's more of a hunting weapon.
I'm
Birds.
Okay. Okay. Which way did the one that you guys were tracking? Which way did it go?
This way.
What would I know, like compass wise, like northwest, south? What you know?
it seemed like it was going like north east from.
I mean, is
Okay.
there any
Yeah.
tracks? Because they just got shot.
You go ahead and
Do
make
it.
survival checks, actually. And Mechanicus, while they're doing that, Mechanicus, what are you doing at this point? Because I know you kind of started mobilizing when you heard that. What are you doing at this point?
Okay, so being here didn't give him any kind of rest or anything, did it?
Say again?
So, like, being back at the lumpy
Lumpy stuff?
lucky stuff didn't give him, like, any kind of rest or anything.
I mean, you guys are well rested regardless, because...
Are we?
Yeah,
Just
you
like,
guys...
he was completely tapped.
No, remember, you guys... oh, that's right, you don't know what happened. You guys camped out with the rest of the platoons, and then came... the next day is basically now.
Gotcha. So, we got a full rest.
Yeah, you guys are
Did I
good
get
with
my
rest.
hit dice back by
What?
chance? Just curious.
Yes.
So I left. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so does he see, like, these things running across the roof? Or, like, them shooting? I'm assuming he would have heard the noise and looked over.
You've heard it, at least two loud banging noise, which came from the shotguns, for sure.
Did you see those rolls?
You did. So if you were still looking outside the window at the town square, you did see this large feline creature with wings, as it was encountered by an unknown individual. Now you're seeing this whole event fold with Theo interacting with this new person.
And May following us.
Right.
Okay, do I see the other one that was running across the rooftops by the lucky stump?
From your angle and perspective, go ahead and roll a perception check, because like you're like looking through this like foggy window. You're trying to figure out. You're trying to angle it properly as you're looking around.
Now, at the same time, he's like trying to put his clothes on, so would that disadvantage it?
I'm gonna say you're gonna get disadvantage, not just because of that. You're gonna get disadvantage because wherever you're looking through is not great anyway.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
Can't
just
be
you
naked.
can't see anything. You know something is happening though. You
Gotcha.
did see that creature run off originally, but you can't see anything beyond that.
Alright, so he's just basically cursing to himself and trying to get dressed as quickly as possible, and then he'll make his way out to the street.
All right. I'm gonna say that's gonna be like the rest of your turn. By the end of your turn, you're gonna be like at the common room where where the fire pit is, essentially down in the main room. Next up, as you guys are still tracking.
You notice my I
say
sent you
again?
a message. I sent you a message.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. Okay.
We all rolled horribly. I rolled for Hellscream, and he got a 10.
Okay. I was gonna say some of you can help each other before you rolled everybody.
What's-
Oh, sure.
What's the left number and the right number? I'm sorry, I'm not used to this
Okay.
UI.
Yeah, no worries, man. I know you're kind of new to Roll20. So instead of rolling one at a time, it just rolls twice.
Okay.
Your normal roll is it tight? Your
What?
normal roll is gonna be on the
Okay.
left. If we
Okay.
require a disadvantage roll or an advantage roll, we will just take the other roll to account for that, essentially.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we just roll
use the left
both
number.
to make it easier, essentially.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. Okay, so, yeah, I'm gonna say both Theo and Omen, both of you guys see a trail of blood going one direction, as both of you kind of getting help with May and Hellscream as well. You see this a trail of blood that is going to one alley as it turns to another, and then the blood trail stops.
I look up.
You look up. You could see that there are shingles like ripped in one of the structures on that one portion of the roof.
Gotcha. I look at the Theo and I'm like, "Do you mind climbing?"
He's the. I don't think any of us can climb really well.
Shit.
Is
there any way up?
There are certain parts. It's not just a flat, like brick walls. There are parts where you could see that there are functions for purposes of like getting to like chimneys and stuff like that. You could see that there are things that allow people to climb up in various portions of these walls and stuff.
Okay.
So
I'll try to climb up it.
Climbing up is going to be like a pretty much like a turn, because you're using kind of like your athleticisms and movement. In that point, as you all begin to climb, everybody roll an athletics check. Just don't roll a natural one while you're doing so.
Oh, thank God. I got a 14.
A 7.
All right.
I got a 19. Oh, wait, wasn't me.
Wow. So Theo got an 18 and Hellscream got a 24. And he's probably disadvantaged because he has Voxy on him. But it didn't matter because he has a 20 for that.
He literally is the first one. You see Hellscream just look around, and he just like not pushes but like bumps like your shoulder as he's like pushing through, and he's just like scaling it even with Voxy on his back, like with no issue. He's not even using his feet like to plant it. He's just like all arms. Cooks just climbs up as he scales it. The rest of you guys get to on the top of the portion, with May, with the exception being like the last, as you were struggling for a quick moment. Mechanicus, you're right now in the middle of the inn, where you see some of the individuals. You see one of them carrying just a mundane shotgun right now behind the bar. You can see that it's Thomas right now holding, and he's just looking around, hesitative. There's a little bit of fear coming around. He doesn't know what's happening. You can see some of the other patrons are just rushing towards like behind tables, as there's another coming from above. You hear another loud bang, and coming with a guttural roar coming behind it.
Okay, Mechanicus looks at Thomas.
Don't do anything stupid, boy. Just go hide somewhere. Just go hide.
And then he makes his way into the street.
All right. As you make your way to the street, what do? You're looking around. Immediately, you don't see anything. There is... You know what? Go ahead and roll a perception check, actually.
He's going to look up, because you said he just heard something like on top of the
You heard it,
stump.
yeah. You heard it stomp?
He's going to look up there toward the roar.
Okay, so you start maneuvering towards the middle of the square, because like the closer you are to the structure, you can't really see above it. But you start moving your way towards the middle of the town square. As you do so, you see a dark figure just leap. And this figure that you've seen, definitely remnants. Similar to that of that feline creature that you saw in the middle of the square, the way it looked.
Does he
leap
recognize?
off to another one. Say again.
Has he read about these, or does he recognize what this is?
I'll go ahead and make let's make a history check.
Oh, I was bad at that.
10.
Would I have advantage?
Don't you have anything that gives you advantage? I just warned you did.
I'm very smart.
I'm gonna say no. not in this instance.
Okay, crit fail.
It's a crit fail. Yeah, you know what? You've seen a lion before in drawings and books before. It's a lion with wings. What the fuck? It's a lion with wings. You can't see its face. It's dark. It's in a dark area because it's not in the light. Since it's on top of a roof, you could only see like the silhouette of it. You can't really get that much details from it. Following off, like not too far from where it was running from, you could see that there's smoke rising. Not on the lucky stump, but like a ways off. You can see that smoke's rising, and the smoke itself on the bottom of it, you can see that there is this amber hue coming from the smoke as well, signifying that it might be some sort of fire.
Okay. So this lion on the roof, does it look like it's looking at anybody in particular, like it's gonna pounce? Does it look like it's just like, rah, this is my territory? Does it look like it's gonna start eating people?
Go ahead and roll a for that. Go ahead and roll a insight check for that, actually, as it leaps over to another one, and it's just kind of looking around. What was that?
18.
18. It definitely looks like it's trying to fix its gaze upon something. It's looking around, even though you can see like some of the remaining pedestrians, some of the people within the portions of the alleyways. You see them running off, but you can tell it's not paying too much mind to them. It's looking around as if probably scanning for something particular.
Got you. Okay. This is so stupid. If it's looking for something particular, Mechanicus is going to reach into his sleeve and pull out a bit of fleece, and he's going to whisper into it, and he is going to very carefully and trying to not be observed, cast Phantasmal Force on this, and make a blindfold appear on it that begins to tighten on its head.
All right. What's the roll again?
This is going to be intelligence saving throw with a DC 15.
Intelligence. All right. Intelligence. And you said DC was what?
15.
15. It rolls. Oh shit! It rolls a natural 20, but it is an 18 overall. As you do cast Phantasmal Force and you mutter your last words for the incantation to finish off, towards the end of it, you see this creature for a quick second shake off whatever this sensation that came upon it, and now it's looking around more furiously as that happened.
Well, shit.
And then he's gonna start. Yeah, it's good. You'll just kind of like try to hobble his way somewhere for cover.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Next up with the other branch of the party, Omen, May, Hellscream, and Theo. As now you guys are on top of one of the building structures, and you could see the silhouette coming from the western portion of where you currently are. You could see that there is one figure leaping onto another structure.
How far is it away?
This one seems to be like a good 70 to 80 feet on like a couple of structures beyond.
So what I'll do is I'll kind of like tuck in my coat a little bit, and I'm just gonna like let fly a white bat. I'm just gonna kind of throw it up in the air, so try to hide it from everybody else. All right. And I'll just say out loud and be like, "Get away from this madness! I don't want you getting hurt, old friend."
Go ahead and just do like a sleight of hand to see if like nobody notices as you like grab this like creature. I'm gonna say the advantage because it's dark anyway.
Yikes! 11.
Yikes. Passive. What's everyone's passive? Yeah, I think everybody saw it.
13.
Yeah. As soon as you did that, everyone's just look at you with just a questionable like.
Well, he throws bats around. That's good.
Pet bat, just that.
Oh.
You see Hellscream just shrug it off and just like bolts and just dashes towards the western portion.
As I'm seeing this is another one. It's not the one we were following, right?
You can't.
So we don't know. We can't tell.
Know.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of get a fixed point, just kind of like steady my arm and just shoot at it.
Okay. Go ahead and make your shot. It's within. What's your range again? You got a good range with it.
Oh, I got a good range for it. It's like I think 120. I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's 60. Oh no, so, 60 240. 240.
So wait, 60. It's
60
then
240.
It's right out of your range, so it will be at disadvantage as you firing it.
Oh, what's the 240 then? I thought that was my max.
So 240 means that is your buffer that you can possibly hit. If it's beyond 240, you can't do it. That's what it means.
I got you. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So disadvantage.
Yep. So it's with disadvantage. Go ahead and fire off as Omen. You see Theo pull out this giant hulking like pistol with like 2 barrels on it. Not a normal one. Say again.
What the?
It's just beefy. Oh, nice. 24.
24.
For 4 damage.
So you see him pull and when it fires off, you see it turn red hot before it projects at the very edge of it. As he fires off and this bright shot lines across, as you can see, excuse me, you can see the figure as it leaps, as it takes this smoldering bolt as it disappears into it, and you hear from the distance you can hear growl and then like fall into the alley that it was like trying to jump across. What are the rest of you guys doing? I know Theo, you just fired off your shot.
How far away was this creature?
It's a good 70 feet from where you guys are currently.
Shit.
And I'm gonna fell down right to the alleyway.
You can see it fall. Yeah, you can see like as you shot into it, and it was about to make a jump. As you fired into it, it was like mid jump, and it jumped. The jump basically failed on itself, and it fell into like the alley.
I look at him. I'm like, "Nice shot, mate!" And I start charging, and I'm gonna use all 60 feet of my movement to try to catch up with the beast.
All right, so you just run.
I'm gonna stay on top of the building.
Okay, the rest of you guys.
I'm going to burn a key point and do Gust of the Wind.
Gust of the Wind. So you're gonna take, what was that, 40 plus another 40?
I have 80. Yeah.
Right. So you just use a bonus action as you just with just unnatural speed, she just whizzes by the rest of you guys as she just leaps across a couple of the buildings. That you can see some of the gaps that are placed before even arriving to the area where you could tell that the creature fell into. As you make it to the point, you're standing a good, after running about 75 feet from where the creature was, May, you look down onto the alley where you had noticed it went down towards as it made its landing. You can see that there is a good amount of feathers and blood, a small amount of blood that looks to be trickling in one direction. The area that you look at, it looks like it possibly turned in another alley.
All right, I'm gonna try to follow it. Just try to keep up with
it looks like it's going back south, like towards like the town square, actually.
Okay.
All right, and Theo, you're just running the last 30 feet that you have to try to catch up, basically.
Yeah, I guess working my way down to the alleyway, right? Because we're on the rooftops now.
Yeah, right. But May, you could see the rest of your party coming towards you, and you could see that it veered off and made a change in direction, and you can basically alert like your party members, as you can tell, like it's going in another direction from where they're running to right now.
I'm just like kind of pointing towards. I was like, it went that way. It's hurt really bad that way. And I'll just keep going.
Could I use my bat senses on this turn, or would that be next turn?
Yeah, that's gonna be because you already used a dash action. Unless it's a bonus action.
I don't know if that's a bonus action or not. I have to look, but
yeah, just go ahead and find out on me in the meantime. Mechanicus,
am I within 30 feet of it?
Of the one that you just tried doing the Phantasmal Force, you are a good, I'm gonna say, like a good 40 feet or so.
Okay. He's gonna put the fleece in his pocket and pull out this little black speck, looking up at this thing on the roof, and he's gonna wobble forward 10 feet. He's gonna hold it up to his mouth. He's gonna whisper something, and because it wouldn't be Mechanicus if we didn't. I'm gonna give it fleas.
All right, DC 15.
DC 15 con save.
Con save. It rolls a natural 1. As
5 poison damage, and it has to move east, which I hope makes it fall off the building.
Go ahead and roll a d6.
Roll a d6.
Yeah, it tells you which way it's going.
I already rolled a 3.
Oh, I just noticed. I'm sorry. I forgot that's what it's for. Yeah. You know what? As you finish your incantation, as the swarm of mites or fleas start to swarm towards it, surrounding the creature. You can see the creature right now just trying to shake off whatever's on it, and it's trying to run and fails on its run as its movement, basically, as it doesn't notice where its foot placement goes, as you see it fall off a good 15-20 feet from the roof. Boom, just lands a good 25 feet next to you as it gets up, and it's like now roaring, trying to remove, like scratch whatever's on top of it. These mites just eating up on it.
Is Mechanicus within 20 feet of a door?
I'm gonna say from moving before, it's gonna take you like a good, you know what, I think like 25 feet or so. I think you have enough movement if that's what you're trying to do.
With that, when it falls and hits the ground, Mechanicus is just like standing there, then he looks around, and he's like, and then starts like walking backwards.
As soon as you do that, you see a couple of town guards run in with long dated like weapons, like rifles, as they're there like talking amongst each other and strategizing. What the hell is this thing? And you see one's like with an old school musket. He's like trying to like pry like down, loading the weapon up, and he's struggling. The other one next to him, he just points up, fires his weapon towards the now that the manticore is on the ground, but it shoots past him as he's there like just trying to figure out a good placement on shot. You see another one with a pike rushing towards it with what seemingly like another one from a distance as well. And that's gonna be the end of that turn. And you guys right now are still on the top of the building, as you guys are heading towards the midst of the town square. As you guys are approaching and veer off into like this, into basically south now into the town square, you can hear and see the creature try to leap and fly, and as it does so, you can see one of the wings are just not cooperating with it, as one of the wings falls short as it trails off. It veers into that fallen wing, essentially, as it plummets down into the ground again. From what May right now, you're a good 30 feet, at least 35 feet from it, as you could see it moving towards the town square. Miguel's kind of the furthest one since he didn't have much movement. Behind you, May, you can see the newcomer, Omen and Hellscream at the same time, just kind of running the same direction near each other and trailing like a good 25, 30 feet Theo. What do you do, May?
I'm going to get up to 30, 35 feet to it, and
okay, so you run towards it. It's actually, you're still on top of the building, so when you approach it, you're actually right above it from the structure that you're on the roof.
I'm going to pull out my whip chain and try to dive on its back.
All right, so as you jump and leap, you get your whip chain right now. You're holding it with both hands. Go ahead and make a... You know what? It's not hard to actually land on it as you're like approaching it. Go ahead and just make your attacks as you just leap down a good almost 20 feet essentially. First,
can I use my chain? I was wanting to try to grapple it, like land on it and grapple it down.
First off, roll a acrobatics check just to make sure you didn't mess up on the landing. Yeah,
9.
Yeah,
does Mechanica see this happening?
You do. It's from far off. You could see now on the other side, right in front of you, that you have a couple of these guards, but like off the other side of coming into the square, you could see May leap off from a building, jump on top of this creature as she's right now attempting to put the chain around it. Go ahead and roll an attack, a grapple check to see if you can grapple the creature with the chain. I'm gonna give you advantage since you just like landed, slams like right on top of it.
Or is it straight up strength?
No, athletics. You're doing like an athletics right now.
Jesus, a 6.
With advantage? Because you're kind of slamming on top of it.
19.
That was a 19?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So as soon as you jump onto it, actually, let me roll. Yeah, it rolls an 8 as you land on top of it, and you can feel right now the chain just going across its large maw right now. As the chain is not going around its head, you can feel the chain like whipping into its semi, like it's kind of like this giant wide gap of an open for a mouth. As now you're upon it and you're getting a good glance, you could see that it's almost like rows of teeth, like shark teeth, like inside this giant gaping maw. The face looks almost like humanoid, almost has features like a human, and you can hear it, oh, get off, as you hear it speak to you as you're right now grappling on top of it as it's still running about like half speed on this large creature. Oh yeah, you have the grappler feat, right?
Yes.
Advantages on attack against roll. All right, so now since you already used a grappling check, I don't know if you want to use anything else in the meantime.
I can't attack it.
You can't attack it? A grapple is an attack. That's why I'm wondering.
It is? Okay.
Yes.
Then I'm going to do an armor strike.
Yeah, grapple's attack
7.
action, so you can actually use your chi off that, can't you?
No, it's a strike. An actual attack with a strike is you can use your key points. A grapple is just in the category of an attack. That's all it is. But it's not a striking attack. So with a 19, definitely hits as you're there on top of it now, and you're just like try to put an elbow into its back as you're like riding on top of this giant holding onto your chain, like, and just having this large mane just whipping across your face as you're doing so. What are the rest of you guys doing at this point?
I'm gonna try to run towards it and like jump on it as well.
Okay.
And try to pop off 2 more shotgun rounds into it.
All right. A good 30 feet that with movement, and you want to take an action to fire, leaves you a good 40 feet from the creature, so it's still within range for firing.
Could I jump onto it first and then attack it?
You're still a little too far from the jump because May's with her crazy.
Oh,
bunk.
right. Okay.
She has like that speed to like catch up to it quickly.
Okay. I'm bewilderedly fast. How about this then? I'm just gonna kind of like close my eyes, and so I don't show it. But I'm going to use my bat senses to see if there's any more. He's flying up. He's flying up above, kind of like a bird's eye view of everything going on.
All right. So right now you're gonna stop at this point because you can't really do a movement while you're doing so. So I would say you could do like your 30 feet of movement and then like have as an action, like everyone that does notice, like Omen just stops and he closes his eyes, and those that do notice, his eyes open up into like this white without any pupils as your view switches over above, and you can see an aerial view. You can see your wings within this weird fisheye lens, and you're looking down. You can see May right now running. May on top of this creature running into the square right now. You can see that there's a couple of guards closer to the inn that they were in with this older person right now, and you can see yourself with the rest of your party members right now. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to see how many, where are they, and like bird's eye view of where the enemy is.
Yeah, go ahead and roll perception check.
Perception.
Bats have like dark vision, so
they have dark vision and echolocation. I can pull that up for myself here. Oh, excuse me. It's a homunculus.
It's gonna be a regular perception check.
Okay.
I don't think, because if you're like in a cave, I'll give you like, because of that whatchamacallit.
Got 11.
11. You only see the two right now. One that's like getting up, and as you can see, being charged by a couple of pikemen, and you see that the other one in like going into the square at the moment. You really can't catch anything else, unfortunately.
So I only see two.
Right.
And I relay that to the party I'm around right now, and I'm like, hey, I'm only seeing two. One near the Times Square, and obviously one with May.
The square?
Yes, back at the inn.
Hellscream, go to the square. I think wait, was the I look around like, oh, the old man. May.
With your passive perception, you begin to hear this high pitch sound coming from I'd say from the west of your current position. The sound seems to be that of a high pitch that changes its note.
May only hears this?
No, I said you, with your passive. Your passive is a 16, right? From what I'm looking at.
Yes.
Yeah, right now you're the only person that kind of caught that.
Sorry, I thought you were talking to me. So I hear a screech and
No, not screech, like a high pitch sound, almost like a note, like a note is being held and then it changes.
And what happens? Like, what changes after I hear it?
You could hear it changes and then trails off, and then like you don't hear it, but it's odd.
What? Okay.
It's
what direction?
It feels like it's coming from the west.
Okay. Is that towards the square?
No, the square from where you are is south.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to. All right. Damn. Okay, so I hear that. I'm in the rooftop. So could I now? How far is? Could I see from where I'm at where the other manticore is?
I'm gonna help you out a little, because I could have just done this earlier. So.
Yeah, that helped, just to see where located and.
1 second. All right.
Okay.
So, you guys are about on this larger structure right here. Right now, the town square right there. In the middle of that, you can see that there are, from your position, it's kind of hard to see, but you know that people are kind of going that direction right now.
Okay, so there's a manticore around the town square here, and we're on top of this roof here, where that was, and then the sound came from up
Sound
here
came
somewhere,
from the western portion from where you guys are.
and I didn't see where it was emanating from, like a source.
You just heard it.
Okay. So I kind of looked for a moment just to see if I could pinpoint where it's from. But I don't see anything. So I'm going to jump, find a way down. Actually, I know I go to the edge, and if I could, how far away is that other manticore?
The closest one is one May right now is attacking you. You are unsure about the other one. You know the other one is in the square.
I just know it's there
because Omen had mentioned.
Yeah. I got screaming around. Yeah. I was like, all right. So I'm just gonna jump, find a way down.
Okay.
And I guess Hellscream already.
He's just beelining it to where he has to be.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah.
At this point, he's like trailing May. Put it that way, like on foot, while May's like on top of the creature.
Okay. So I guess my turn will just be getting down to the ground level.
Okay. I'm gonna say you're comfortable depending on what you land on. You can make a decent leap.
Okay, so he does like a Jackie Chan kind of like trying to get down to the floor.
There's enough things where you don't have to worry about like doing like like a climbing check. It's more along the lines like, oh, there's a cart there, I'm gonna jump on it. There's things like there's things all over that you can see that you could just jump down on. Go ahead and roll acrobatics. Just don't roll a 1 essentially. Because I know you have a decent acrobatics.
He's gonna unleash his inner Aladdin. 20.
It shows you the world.
You still have it on disadvantage. Take it off, man. But yeah, that's 20. That's fine. That 6 though caught me off guard. I was like, that looks like a crit fail. No, but yeah, 20. As you leap down, as you jump onto what looks like a vendor's like hut, and you jump into it. You like make a giant crashing noise, but you manage to jump on it with no issue as you roll off onto like the table, but you left a mess behind you.
It's like I fell through it, and it looks like I like got hurt, but I actually immediately just come out walking like
you like fell through it and then like did like a tumbling flip and just ran off. Right now you're in ground level. I'm gonna say you're a good 30 feet trailing May. You can see May right now just like she's like holding on to this creature as she's like trying to pull that whip chain right now. So you're in sight of the creature and May, and you can see Hellscream not too far, behind, trailing as well from the creature.
Okay, I'm gonna try to shoot it then. Is it trying to? It's grappled, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a disadvantage because May's like on top of it. You can see she's like moving, like her legs like all over the place as she's there trying to hold on.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna try something here. Let's see.
All right.
She's got control of it. I can see she's got control of it.
You can see she's slowing it down, for sure.
I'm trying to take control of it.
She hasn't.
Oh, you didn't grapple it?
She's grappling it and slowing it down because it's a large creature. It's not like a regular medium size. It's a large creature.
Okay, I'm shooting with disadvantage.
All right.
13.
13 just ricochets off the floor as you miss your shot.
All right, he reloads his gun. And that's the end of his turn.
All right. Hellscream. I don't think Hellscream has any range attacks. But you're controlling him anyway.
Well, he could dash.
He can dash. So I'm gonna say he got to the creature, but without really doing anything. He's like next to it, and he's like trying to grab onto it as well, but with no action.
Got it.
All right, and that's gonna be the end of your turn, Mechanicus. So you see these soldiers rushing the one that you took down. As you see that one Manticore right now getting up, and he's you can see the Manticore dipping down like for a pounce as it's focusing on these soldiers now that are like rushing upon it.
Mechanicus is going to like elbow the guard next to him. It's like pumping. He's like,
You need to pump the ball into the hole much faster, or it's going to get up before you can blow the wad.
He's
And
like,
then,
he's just looking at you, like, what the? Just mind your business, old man. And as he pulls up his weapon, he's ready to fire.
Mechanicus just kind of leans over.
If you don't shoot it very soon, it's going to kill you. This I have seen.
And he's just kind of like holding his action to defend the soldiers if it pounces toward him.
You see the one that's rushing with the pike as he closes the distance on the Manticore. Manticore just leaps like the next 10 feet or so into the pikeman as you hear the crunching sound from the armor like just collapse into the guy's neck as you hear and you see blood just spray like in one direction as you see the Manticore just crunch into it and just swing the pikeman a good 5 to 10 feet into one direction as you see him just crunch into the floor unmoving with just blood soaked everywhere as it turns its attention towards the rest of you at this point with you and the guards as the guard next to you fires off that one unfortunately as well it just ricochets off the floor and he's like hesitating. Oh shit. And he's there trying to like reload again on this the large musket rifle.
You wield that thing like it's the first time you've ever used it.
Keep your business. You should probably run. And he's just there just trying to fix his weapon right now.
Mechanicus is going to pull out that little bit of fleece again, and then in a motion like he's clearing his throat, he's going to cast Phantasmal Force again.
All right.
This time it is going to put a collar around the Manticore, and then with a chain, like a big ass chain, stake it to the ground.
Okay, so
with 5 feet of movement.
So you wanted to see a chain around its neck, and it's what is it?
Stakes it to the ground.
Intelligence?
Yeah. DC 15.
Dude, I'm rolling really good. It's a natural 20. A 22.
No, it's not, because whenever it tries that...
Wrong character.
Okay.
Hold on. I totally clicked on the wrong one. I'm going to do this again. Yeah, it's an 8. I use a different one.
It didn't matter where you were gonna run.
Yeah, I know what Mechanicus was gonna do, but anyway, he didn't have to waste it. As it flung that other soldier, the guard, and right after you see the one that's kind of like in front of you, trying to reload his weapon. There's a moment. This Phantasmal Force is not really very low key since it requires like you muttering and doing hand motions and using materials. Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand to try to avoid being noticed. As I know you are trying to avoid being noticed, actually.
19.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
He didn't notice it at all. I mean, there was a moment where it was like a spark came from like the ending of your incantation. And it was more along the lines of like everything's kind of so crazy that he just looked back and didn't really notice any difference from what was happening. But he does
Keep loading your gun, you simpleton!
he does
Quit
look
staring
upon
at me!
He does look upon the Manticore right now. The Manticore looks like it's about to go into a run and then stops for a quick second as it looks beyond itself. It's looking down on itself right now, trying to figure out what just happened. And it's
The collar
now,
feels
it's-
tight, so it's starting to take D6 damage.
as it takes 2 damage. Okay, right now it looks like it's confused. You stopped it. Excuse me. You stopped it at its tracks, but it is fairly confused right now, trying to figure out what just happened. May, you're right now closing in 30 feet as the movement from the Manticore. As it's running into the square right now, you could see what's happening in front of you with the at least one corpse of a soldier, and you could see a few other guards actually, and you could see among them Mechanicus and another Manticore in the middle of the square as you're running into it right now. The Manticore is going to try to whip you off with a kind of like detesting your grapple essentially.
Okay.
It's going to be a strength and athletics check of 17 to try to whip you off of it.
23.
23 as it tries to whip you off, you for a moment hold on to the chain and you whip around its face and end up on the other side while still holding on to the chain, because the chain is kind of like still stuck like between its mouth and the back of its head as it's there trying to shake off, still trying to remove you from its grasp. And that's gonna be the end of its turn. Go ahead and continue on with your grapple as you're still on top of it, holding on to this grapple.
I'm going to hang on tighter to the chains, and I am just going to do unarmed strikes with the flurry of blows.
All right, go for it.
20 for 7, 22 for 5, and 17 for 7.
Yeah, they all hit. That's what 7, 5, and a 7. That's
19.
what 19. So as you just whack, pop, as this point you could see, as you slam your elbow across the side, you can see like a few of its really jagged, sharp teeth just fly off into one direction, taking all these hits. It's looking a little rough at this point. It's kind of bloodied at this point, as you see that there are a couple of pop shots around around its fur, and after that last strike, you can see that it is starting to slow down considerably.
Yeah, that'll be the end of my turn. I'm just focused on just hanging on,
All right.
trying to slow it down.
The rest of you guys, Theo, right now, Hellscream, you can go ahead and roll for him. As Hellscream is right next to the creature as well, Theo. And then after Theo, we're gonna go with after Hellscream, we're gonna go with Omen.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's gonna use his sunrise.
He's gonna use his polearm.
24 with
24 hits.
5.
5 slashing as he rings, whips across the polearm, opening a giant gaping, lacerated section on the. You can see like parts of the ribs are now exposed from the Manticore, with another growling howl from the polearm strike. And that's gonna be the end of for Hellscream, right? I can't remember. Oh, Hellscream has in the bonus action. Remember, he has polearm.
Yeah, the polearm master right
Yeah.
here. Let me just. What does it do?
Just it's another attack with the butt end of the. I think he has like a bludgeoning attack on the other side on that character
Yeah,
sheet.
for
Actually.
Yeah,
D4
blunt. Yeah,
damage.
okay.
Yeah.
He misses that. I guess
Damn.
it's-
What happened?
Double crit fail for that.
Oh yeah. So it's like on a run at the same time. So like as he followed through, he almost stumbles for the second swing, which unfortunately just misses. And Omen,
Since I'm
you're a good distance behind, but you're still on top of the roof. But looking into the square at this point, the creature is a good from the last turn, from its current turn it just went through, it's like a good 45 feet right now.
a feet down or feet away.
Away, but even though you're still looking down from the structure.
Okay. I am going to. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump down, and just kind of like slide off the side of the wall or whatever, so that I could kind of like brace my fall a little bit by like, I don't know, getting a knife and stabbing into the wall and slide down a bit.
Go ahead and roll acrobatics. Just don't crit fail. As you just with style just.
Whew, close.
Scraping
And then
across.
as I go down, I'm just gonna kind of like aim my shotgun and aim for its. I want to say its ass end because she is mounted onto it right now.
Right. And then to the left of it, as you see, like from behind, you can see from on the left of it, you can see Hellscream just like running alongside of it, just trying to do various strikes with its large polearm.
Okay. So as I slide down, I'm gonna do 2 pops. So.
Right.
Bang bang. And that would be a total of.
It's gonna be with disadvantage because of May on top of it. By the way.
Okay, so that would be a 12 to hit.
12 just scatters off, and as you're trying to avoid hitting May as well, as you're trying to aim it at a proper angle, that one just sails off. You can see some of the pellets hitting like certain back pieces of like the buildings and stuff.
And then I'm gonna shoot again. This time as a 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Yes, and then that would be a. That's not right. 13 damage. That's a. Oh wait, I'm a plus 3. Okay, yeah, 13 damage.
Yeah,
That's
13
pretty
damage.
good.
You could see parts of its tail and its backside just bloodied at this point as it continues to run.
Sweet.
All right. That's gonna be the end of your turn. Are you gonna?
I'm just gonna reload real fast and just hold my position.
All right. So the reload is gonna be at least a bonus action. Your bonus action you use to fire off the shotgun a second time.
Gotcha. Okay. So
yeah,
I'll do that next turn.
Next. Yeah. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. No, you're good. You can do that because yeah, you can reload. I'm sorry, I forgot about.
Okay. So I can shoot twice as an action and then reload as a bonus. Okay. Just want to make sure. Cool.
Okay. So Theo. You see the creature right now just getting right now just ganked. Hellscream, you can see May just wailing on top of it, and you can see Omen right now firing off his shotgun from a good distance, nipping at it as well. I can't hear you, brother.
At this point, we can see the other Manticore now, right?
Yeah, you guys are like right now actively getting into the. You can see the square. You're partially in it. You're just a little ways behind, but you can see the square from where you are right now.
All right. I'm gonna shoot the other Manticore.
All right. I would say like the next 30 feet or so that you use, you're getting into the square, and you could see it now at this point, as the Manticore looks around, weirdly confused, but you do see the other guards around, and amongst the guards you can see Mechanicus. As you take your aim, go ahead and fire.
Yeah, so I get on one knee and like with my arm cocked there and try to get a shot. 23.
23 hits.
I'm still doing
damage.
Disadvantage.
Yeah,
damn it. Sorry.
As you see the smoldering shot against it, burning into its side.
And hold on, I'm using one of my grip points.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For winging.
It's not flying. I think winging.
No, it makes it. Winging shot means it like kind of hits it and it falls prone, like it spins it.
Like Ebola.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So here.
Okay, go ahead. So it's a what is it? It's my contestant is a what is it? Con?
No, I don't.
Strength.
You-
Yeah, it's a strength save. Okay.
Strength saving throw. Yeah.
What's your DC again? I forgot what was your DC. Can't remember what it was. It rolls a dirty 20, by the way. So I'm assuming
Yikes.
it might surpass it. I don't think your DC is a 20. I can't hear you, by the way.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So you fire off, and you see the smoldering wound from it. But it shrugged off the effect of you trying to make it prone, essentially, when you took the shot.
That right there is how you need to be shooting that gun. Quit standing there and pumping it and actually do something.
He's just looking at you with a face like, fucking old man. God damn it. And he's there fixing his weapon. He brings it back up.
You young boys just want to bump all day.
The creature right now, the manticore that's in the middle of the square, that's you have phantasmal forced it. It's gonna try to leap and bring out its wings to fly. As it's just gonna move, basically thinking like what it's mentally trying to do is trying to break the chain with movement. As it does so, it notices that it's not being restrained, but it notices that it's still being chained, as it's kind of still confused trying to fly, avoiding this chain that it's attached to. Right now, it's gonna fly up a good 50 feet into the air, like, and it's like flying like a semicircle right now. While it does so, it's gonna look down, and the guard that you're next to, and you, Mechanicus, it's going to whip its tail, and you see spikes just hitting all over you guys right now.
Whoa.
As it hits for 15 to you, Mechanicus, and the guard also gets hit.
It's 15 to hit, or it's 15 damage?
To hit. It's to hit. I'm assuming that hits, or I know you have shield too. That's why I'm asking if it does.
Let's see. Do I want to take it? Yeah, I'll take it.
You're gonna take the hit. Okay, so you take 8 piercing damage as you feel a large spike lodged into your shoulder, searing pain. Right next to you, the guard looks up and he's about to take aim. Right before he fires, you see blood just pouring from its mouth, and he just falls flat onto his rifle.
That is why I was telling you to shoot the damn thing.
Hey, this kid can't get a rest.
It's a hard way to die. Old
That's gonna
man
be the end of the
screaming at me.
Manticore's turn right now. Is in midair after it's fired off its tailed spike. Mechanicus, you are up.
Alright,
It does take phantasmal force damage still, because it's still kind of attached to the chain. by the
Yeah.
way.
well, I'm gonna... Does Phantasmal apply at the beginning or end?
That's what I can't remember. Let's see. Victor target comes in. What does it say when it gets hit?
Each round.
Each round. So this
Okay.
is basically, I would say that the round starts with you, so it takes another damage right now. You go ahead and roll for it.
Okay.
D6.
4.
Yeah, it takes another 4 damage. As you can see like mid-air, it does like a, and it just shakes it off again, trying to figure out what the hell is like happening to it.
Can this spell just be called Mindfuck?
I know, right?
Hey, don't make me break out Dick Man.
There's a story behind that.
There is. There's always a story behind it.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Mechanicus, what shall you do? Right now, there is at least one soldier, one guard left, by the way, just to kind of give
He's
you an
gonna
idea.
pick up the musket and shoot it with the musket.
All right. Go ahead and pick it up. Roll a just a regular d20 with dexterity, if you have any.
So dexterity roll.
Yep, with
Fuck.
15.
it hits. As it takes, go ahead and roll a d8. I'm sorry, a d10.
4.
As you see this plume of smoke right in front of you, that's pretty much everything you were looking at up into the sky just disappears because everything is obscured by this thick smoke that the rifle just ignited. But as the smoke clears, you could see the creature is like in pain.
Like it looks severely hurt.
It took damage. It's not severely. You can tell it got pissed. Put it that way.
He's gonna start reloading.
All right. You just.
He looks over at Theo, who looks confused.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's like,
I did serve in the military in my young years.
Go ahead and roll an intelligence check just to make sure you know what you're doing now with it.
Oh
You see him
yeah,
just like-
I got this. Just straight intelligence.
Yeah, just straight intelligence.
11.
11. You think you know what you're doing right now. It's like, oh yeah, you put this, ball in there. You grab like one of his pouches that has like the powder. As you start knocking it in, you're trying to figure out exactly what you're doing. You think you're doing all right.
No wonder you young boys pump this. This is quite enjoyable.
All right. Next up, May, you're still on top of it right now as you can feel the drastic change in its pace of this creature.
I'm gonna do unarmed strikes on it.
All right, you're still on top of it. Actually, before you do so, because I forgot all about it, it will try to remove itself from your grasp once again. But before it does so, it just looks over and takes a bite out of Hellscream as it tries to. As Hellscream is like next to it. It's gonna roll a 12 to attack. I'm sure that misses Hellscream with his armor.
misses.
Yeah, and it's gonna follow up because it has 3 attacks. It follows up with a claw attack. It's another fucking 12. God damn it! And it's gonna follow up with another claw attack. And that one I'm sure hits. It's gonna be a 20 for Hellscream.
That hits.
As Hellscream takes 9 slashing damage as he's raked, finding weak points within his armor. As the creature tries to continue running, actually, at this point, it's gonna run into a building, like a glass portion of the window. As you see it leap into it, crashing through a window. At this point, May, go ahead and roll another athletics check to see if you can hold on at this point. While you do take, go ahead.
17.
17. You hold on. You do take 5. You do take 5. I'm gonna say bludgeoning damage as you're hitting against like the walls. The glass itself kind of hurt you as you're following through, holding on to the manticore still.
Okay.
As you leap into this, building, you crash into it, and you feel yourself like tumbling and rolling as the manticore didn't really follow through with its leap into it, as it's there trying to get back up, and you could feel it scrambling. While you're there, still holding onto it, you look around and you could see at least 2 people like trying to take cover behind a table. You can see that you're like in what looks like some sort of perfume shop, as you smell like this waft of like perfume, this sense like overload, as like everything just crashes and breaks as you're struggling with this manticore, as it's scrambling, knocking things over, breaking further things along the line.
This is a large creature, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to strictly try to strike it at its throat, trying to cut off its windpipe.
I'm gonna say if you want to pinpoint a strike to a certain area, I'm gonna give you disadvantage as it's scrambling, moving a lot as well, and while you're still at the same time still holding on to this chain.
So would that just be a normal attack then, since I'm grappling him? Would give me
Yes.
an advantage on it?
Yeah, because I know with grapple you get an advantage.
Do I need to re-roll the first one that I rolled?
Did you roll? I didn't see you. Oh,
Right.
the dirty
Yeah.
20.
17.
I did the athletics check, like right when I hit unarmed strike. You said
Yeah, you don't.
immediate.
We can use it. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So, actually, it's gonna be normal roll that hits as wham as you strike it right in his throat. You see this time blood slightly coughing out of its mouth.
An 11, and I'm burning another key point.
Another key point. All right, 11 misses as you're there just hitting a tough part of the tide.
And then a 25 for the last one.
25 hits with 8 bludgeoning damage. As you crack it against its back, it looks really rough right now. As you can see now, blood all over its face. You can see it's like even leaping through the glass and then like just moving and thrashing. You can see that there's cuts and blood just almost all over its weird humanoid looking like disturbing face with its giant maw right now as it's just growling, and you hear go as coming from this guttural creature right now as it's speaking common to you.
I'm ignoring what it's saying, and I'm just focused on the beast.
All right. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Is Mechanicus done reloading?
No, your turn hasn't come up yet.
Oh.
Since
I
I'm
think
gonna
it's
say
it's Hellspawn's for
just giving you a heads up, a flintlock weapon, like a musket, that takes like a whole action. You can't, like, it's not a bonus action. That takes like a good whole action to reload it. But your turn hasn't come yet. All right, so now Theo, Hellscream, and Omen. What are you guys doing at this point? Omen, you just leaped down earlier. I know that. You're a good from the middle of the square. You're maybe a good 15 feet really from the middle of the square.
Okay. Where is the manticore that we were just fighting with?
That's
May?
the one that crashed into the until that establishment.
And that's like 20. Oh, that's like right there. It's like right where I was.
I'm gonna say it's a good 25 feet, like that building
Okay.
that it crashed into.
I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump in there, and I'm gonna let loose my own chain whip, and my dagger, and I'm just gonna try to like smack it really one good one with the whip, and then like run up for my offhand attack with the dagger.
All right, so you close the distance. You leap into the broken pane of glass as you're just immediately hit by like this, like all sorts of senses with like this, smell of like berries and various
Axe
like,
body spray in a
natural
locker
stuff.
room.
There you go, yeah. And you see May right now just like wailing on top of it as you go ahead and do your strikes.
Do a chain whip strike.
That's a
That did fucking okay.
natural one.
And then I'm gonna roll because I don't have it on here for my dagger. Excuse me. And
Just go ahead and roll the chain whip in the meantime because it's gonna use Dex anyway, just to see if it hits.
okay.
Yeah,
Let's
don't worry
use
about it. 15. Oh no, you hit the wrong one.
Did I hit chain whip? Oh yeah, not that. The chain whip. And
the chain was 11. It's gonna miss, unfortunately.
okay.
So
Awesome.
you're trying to rush towards it now with the dagger. As you get close, the The Manticore whips and turns as you get like slammed by its hindside. Not enough to hurt you,
shit.
but it like knocked you back as you try to go into an attack.
And I'll just be like, it smells like hell.
And that's gonna be the end of your turn. Theo.
Theo is now going to advance onto that Manticore.
All right.
It's actually short. It's like kind
The one
of
that's
hovering.
flying? Yeah, that one's like a good 50 feet in the air right now.
Ah, fuck it. All right. Hold on, my things got minimized here.
Right.
Yeah, he's just gonna use his gun.
Okay.
He's gonna get closer, but like shoot right out over it.
All right. As you take your aim, this point it's like in the darkness. I'm gonna give you disadvantage because now it's hard to pinpoint without the illuminating light within the town. It's like in the dark, out of the reach of the illuminating lights, essentially. You can see its silhouette.
That's fair.
That shit still hits.
26
26 hits. What is
for
it?
4 damage, and I'm going
4
to. Constitution next turn. Yeah, I'm gonna do a dazing shot on it.
All right. What is the? What's
This
the
gives it
Constitution?
Constitution saving throw.
All right. It rolls a 17.
Fuck. Yeah, the 50 beats the 15. So.
All right. As once again you shot it and it's dazed for a quick second. It shrugs off and you see it shake its head in midair. You can see the silhouette like trying to fight off whatever effect you're trying to induce on it. That's gonna be the end of your turn.
Damn it! He's like kind of shaking his gun. What is happening now?
Shortly after, you hear that high-pitched sound once again, but this time you hear what sounds like a jingle, kind of like that coming from a wind, like a not a whistle,
A wind
like
instrument.
like a wind instrument, like that reminiscence of very much like that of the of a flute. And this is coming from closer now from the western portion. As you look towards that area, and Mechanicus, you can see this too since you're like outside. And you look over, floating above the. I'm gonna say just not too far off from where May crashed into the window, and where Omen is right now. You see a figure, dark silhouetted, and he's holding a flute, and you can see he's floating. You see his legs are just kind of like swimming, almost like in air. You can see his legs are just dangling there as he does a whistle, a jingle like with his flute.
Does it remind me of the earlier sound I heard?
Yes, it does. Now that you hear it closer, you get an idea that this is where it came from. And as it does so, you can see him bring out his hand and just wave it towards where you guys are. As looking Theo and Mechanicus, there's also one guard there left. You could hear from the distance like more coming, but once his hand goes across, Theo, Mechanicus, and the guard. You see the guard, by the way, just get flung right into the side of a building. as you can hear the crunching sound of the armor and his pike just fall to his feet basically. I need both of you guys to do a strength save.
Is this in the middle of my turn, or he's just kind of this guy's just kind of now introducing himself?
This is like in the middle of your turn, actually.
Okay.
All right.
Strength save.
Yes.
$15.
Mechanicus, you noticed right away that there was an arcanic release with this whatever force he unleashed upon you guys. A little different from what you are used to, but whatever slammed against you as you both take 12 bludgeoning damage as you get skirted across and like hit the debris, hit the ground. One of you probably got slammed into like the nearby wall. You do notice
Whoa.
that he did create something similar to that of telekinesis that you've read of this ability, this magical power. It was a telekinetic smack, essentially. You guys got thrown 30 feet, basically, from that.
Okay. Damn it. So, I wanted to do an action surge. So could I do that now?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so doing that action turn, the action surge, I look up to the guy up there, and how far is he?
He's a good 40 feet, because he's already
Okay.
above another building, which a building's like generally like close to 20 feet, but he's above that.
Perfect.
Because he's floating.
Perfect. I'm going to now do use my last grit point and do a shot. I'm going to do a winging shot on him.
All right, go ahead and fire off.
At 12?
12 to the attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that misses as you just as you bring up your weapon to aim and you fire off. You see with just a quick, not even a quick, more like a very lazy gesture, he just sways across as you see the shot go off.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to reload and just kind of
Alright.
curse in my language.
And Hellscream is just gonna he's like in the midst of like jumping into like the debris, like scattered, crashed like establishment. And you can go ahead and
Yeah, he's going to
attack her. Uh,
14
and the 9 misses though, but the 14 does strike.
for 9.
With
9
9
damage.
slashing damage. When I'm telling you it looks rough, it looks really bad. The Manticore right now.
He's like, die.
Yeah, it's just struggling. It's trying to escape. That's basically what it's doing. Mechanicus, it's going to go back up to you as you're right now just in pain, still looking at this figure in the sky right now. As you got skirted like a good 30 feet from your original position. Anyone that would have noticed this would have probably been hilarious seeing this guy in a robe just fly like 30 feet across.
Like half naked.
Yeah.
Definitely flash somebody on
his
the way.
robe, like his robe went all the way up. You could see like he's wearing nothing underneath for that moment.
Yikes.
How far away is he?
For
like
you
40
now,
feet.
because you moved 30 feet, you're probably like 70 feet right now, because you got like bashed 30 feet from where you were. What are we doing, Mechanicus?
It's I know this isn't going to work, but Mechanicus is going to. Isn't it just like he's going to look around? Does it look like anybody's paying any attention to him?
Make a perception check.
Yeah, crit fail.
No idea. It is dark anyway. It's just really hard to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, there is some
Level-
illumination from lamps, that by gaslight, but everything else, like, you can't really see. There's certain people hiding, of course, that you can't tell in the windows if there's people watching or not.
Okay, Mechanicus is going to cast a level 2 sleep on the
Alright.
game.
On the guy?
Yeah,
Okay, on this figure that's floating? Okay.
yeah, it's going to be 7d8.
Go ahead and roll it.
$33? No,
Plus 10, was it?
plus 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 43.
If you can see it, but it's hard to because it's dark. You can see whatever this figure is. It almost feels like it's smiling at you.
That's not good.
Is that gonna be the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's
this
all he's
sense
got.
of dread as your next incantation, as you let it off. It feels like it was an attempt to, like a last ditch attempt for like to try to survive. It's you feel like you did nothing to it. Followed that by the Manticore. As you do look up upon it, by the way, Mechanicus, the Manticore is just flying even higher now, and still trying to. You can see it's still struggling with like whatever visual of this chain that's attached to it.
Actually,
but you see it keep flying.
sleep is a concentration, so that would have broke it.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it sleep concentration?
I don't think so.
I don't think, yeah.
I think it's
No,
a one
it's
shot,
not.
to be honest.
Oh, it is. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Well, then
but it's
26.
starting to fly, and now it's starting to fly off into like a direction, not just straight up. It's like flying off. It's actually going northwest. As you see the creature right now following this flight path, this direction, followed by whatever that silhouetted dark figure. With this weird shaped head. You can tell it looks weird because it has a weird hat that kind of gives it like a weird shape. And this figure right now is also floating towards the direction where that where the Manticore is going. Next up is going to be May, actually. You still have that Manticore right in front of you, looking in seriously terrible condition right now.
Not taking any chances. I'm still gonna just strike it.
All right, you can just go wham. You're just gonna keep striking down on it.
A crit 26 and a 19.
How do you kill it? As you just going across right now, you can see that's its last threads of its life.
I returned back to the spot where I was hanging on, and from all the strikes, I just kept hitting in the same spot at the back of its head, and finally I just wore it out enough to where my fist went through his skull.
Whew.
Yeah.
You said your fist went through where?
His skull?
Oh, so yeah, you just whacking at it and noticing like it's like slightly dazed, as you go towards it, and it's almost like that moment like in Karate Kid where you're like he's like waiting to like put his hand into like all the ice. Instead of ice, it's like you just crunch up your fist and you just go right through it as you hear the crunching sound coming from the side of its skull, and then from its mouth, just all this mucus and blood following through with some brain matter.
So Games of Thronesy of you. May.
Oh.
And it seems to now quiet down as this mysterious figure with seemingly to have some sort of allegiance with that manticore just now take off into the darkness in one direction. And we're gonna come back after the bar break. I've been holding my piss for a good minute.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good times.
Nice.
All right. I'll be right back.
All right. 5 to 10 minutes, guys.
Yay.
So, finally, the screaming subside. That you pretty much had an eerie surrounding of commotions and people yelling and what's happening. You could see that there is a couple of billowing smoke with this a hue of like yellow bright flashes of flames flickering from certain buildings. You could tell that some of the buildings right now are actively catching fire. You can see some of the individuals now that it seems to the chaos had subsided. Some of them are taking action in actively trying to put out these fires, or some of them are actually helping people up, checking individuals if they're still either conscious, alive. You can see that there are people being tended to as well.
You go first.
I was going to just go to the fires. Just are they close?
You can see that at least one fire is maybe a couple of buildings from where you are. Beyond that, you can see that some of the other ones are at a good distance.
Do I see? Like, do they have any folks that are helping to take the fire out?
You can
put it out.
You can see that there is actively individuals trying to help others. There is that turning siren that is meant for just like emergency purposes. It's quite common to see someone directing an oxen with behind it a giant tank of water as they're just pulling that horn, trying to go into that direction. You can hear that as he's like, this person's churning it, but it's good at a good distance. It's not happening nearby.
Yeah. All right, so they're taking care of it. You. And he looks at Omen. Did you see that thing, that person with the flute?
Yeah.
Actually,
What?
Omen, like, you didn't even get a good visual on it because you were
I thought I was
inside.
on next to a window.
No, like you were inside the structure helping, like, beating that last manticore, actually.
All I saw was the beast. Where? In the store? I look around.
No. Up in the rooftops. There seems to be someone controlling these things.
This is a moment when you look around, Omen, where where you would imagine probably like the either the owners or part of the establishment of that perfume place. You can see that they're like inching closer to the manticore, and one person's like reaching to touch its like tuft of fur, and there's this moment where, after death, like a creature would do like a twitch. And it scared the living bejesus out of this person as you this it's a guy, by the way, maybe late 30s or so, wearing he's wearing this white blouse essentially, and he's with a trousers, with dark trousers, with long hair tied up, cleanly shaven. He goes near it and he does like a high-pitched yelp as the creature like just twitches for that one moment.
I go, don't worry, it's there's a hole in its head, like a fist-sized hole in it. It's gotta be dead, right? And I kind of look over the other two and I'm like, it's dead, right? Trying to like help these people.
I just kind of like pick up its mane, and just let it go, and it just thumps on the ground. It's dead.
It's
and
heavy, by the way, when you did that.
I'm winding my chain with around its neck.
As soon as you did that, by the way, May, Hellscream just looks at it, and he just takes his pole arm, and just whooshing, and he just like sinks it into like the remaining part of its head, and he just looks at, you can't see his face. He looks over towards you guys. It's dead.
I want to check the tail. I saw it do an attack over there, and I kind of look at its tail. I want to look at the spines on the tail. Are they like rock hard or?
Yeah, it's almost like steel. As you see, at least you could see at least if you were to like count at it, it's like at least a dozen of these weird, oversized like porcupine pincers, not pincers, like spines essentially.
Well,
Are they can I pull one out?
Actually, you do so, and with a good enough tug. Actually, while you're doing that though, go ahead and roll a strength check just to see if you pulled it enough to harvest that portion of, or that spine that you're pulling. Actually,
I got an 11.
An 11. It takes a good amount of time before you snap it.
I get like a rag.
With that 11, you snap one. It's like, oh, okay. It's not as hard as steel, but it definitely, it's definitely has this hardness. The fact that the way it's built, you can see that it's good for puncturing, but if you give it any resistance on a bend, it can crack.
Okay.
But if you want to harvest with that 11, I'm going to say it's going to take you a good...
I'm not trying to harvest, more as just to investigate. And that's,
okay.
Before I take too much spotlight time, I want to do...
You're good. I'm going to say, yeah, it took you a good couple of minutes if you use a rag to like pull one. That's intact.
I'm just trying to like figure out, like, is it natural? Is it summoned?
Yeah, you could see that it's protruding from its tail, like it grows out of it.
Okay. No, I mean the whole creature itself.
Oh, the creature.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say give me a nature check.
Okay. 13.
What was that?
13.
A 13, you said?
Yeah.
Looking upon the creature, you feel like there's a sense that it's not really not that it's not natural. There's a sense of like this is a monstrosity from something you can't understand. It looks like it has the features of creatures that exists, but I don't know. Maybe it's been like, some sort of perversion with magic. We're not really too sure.
Kind of look at May, Theo, and Hellscream, and I get like, have you seen these things?
But by the way, I did mess up saying it had feathers. The wings are not feathery. It's more like a bat. So
Leathery.
DM
Feather.
recall on that one. It's more like a that thin membrane of a bat itself.
Speaking of which, I recall mine back.
Yeah.
Have I seen a creature like this before? Up in the mountains where I'm from?
Go ahead and roll a... You know what? You've never seen a creature like this before, but go ahead and roll a history check, actually.
18.
There are certain tomes, within the monastery that you might have come across. Did you roll? I'm sorry.
Yes,
18.
an 8.
18? So you've read possible legends about these types of creatures. This is something that has been recorded a very long time ago in certain stories. You have a sense that this is what was once thought may be folklore, but it actually does exist from like the stories that you've come across from certain tomes. There aren't any tomes or books that you've come across within the monastery that talks about the biology or what this actually is, but more about hearsay of like what people have encountered, if anything else, through the stories. You know this creature as a manticore.
I looked at Omen like these were kind of like fairy tales, just stories to keep kids in line. One of the tomes that I've read before, they called him like a manticore.
They don't look like a fairy tale to me. And I kind of like kick some glass. I'm like, it does not seem.
Well, I've never seen any. I've just heard stories about this description of this beast, and as I'm looking, I'm trying to see if there's any loose teeth on it that I can kind of pull out or take with me.
Any loose teeth that you find looks that cracked in various places. It looks ruined. But if you do want to like pull like a few from like its actual jaw that looks like still intact, you can do so as well.
I don't mind taking the ruined ones. I'm gonna grind them up.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah,
Can
there are
I-
a few from like just being battered up. That there are a few just like that have flew off its its jaw for sure.
Is the blood any different? Look less natural than any of your blood that I've seen? That's the only thing I could think of that's like I can check.
You look upon the blood, it doesn't look any different from that of any other creature that you know would bleed, to be honest. It doesn't have a different color. It still has that crimson thickness to it.
Well, do you suppose we get out of sight's view? I'm not one to make introductions too
I've
often.
never seen one of these things. For all I know, you were the one that drew them over here.
Well, that's quite the accusation, as I have shot the wings off one, and don't know any of you or what these things are myself.
How did you come upon it?
Well, I was walking down the street, buying some fruit, and then screaming, and yeah.
Oh, very well. Well, then I assume there was this magical flute player on the roofs that seemed to have been having some part of it, so maybe that is the culprit.
I look at the shopkeep and I'm like, is there anything weird about these perfumes that mess with your head? Do you get a high off them? Oh, you're muted.
I must just say, you are standing in a fortune's worth of fragrances. This is gonna be the end of me. Oh,
You should
help!
be happy that you're
The
alive
help of the five.
and not dead and mauled like we just saw someone earlier. You're alive.
Well, not for long. I mean, it's gonna take all of my earnings and keeps to get this place back to what it was. If I may ever.
If I were you, I would just use the parts here of this creature and maybe sell it in the black market to make a profit. You'll be good.
Or you could try eating it.
That sounds amazing to do.
I'm sorry. I'm not the type to dabble within a black market. What do you think I look like? What do you think I'm for?
Hellscream's gonna start like butchering it, like try to. That's what he would do.
Can't you just take this outside? Look at the mess you're adding to this chaos.
As I start cutting, I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. And I start dragging it, but it's like insides are like spilling out a bit, so it leaves this like pool
Like
and
it's
this just
yeah, it's like
nasty cartilage.
entrails. The entrails just comes out.
It gets stuck on the ghost.
On the survival To
What's
retrieve
it?
any meat.
What was that, Theo?
Hellscream roll. He rolled a 13
Oh yeah,
for
I mean
that.
he's he's butchering it. I mean not doing a great job, but he's it's functional. Like the pieces he's taken from it, of course. He's like he like cracks like a good or like a rack of rib with like its meat. I mean it's
That's
it's
wrong.
edible at least.
I kind of look at the group, but I'm just kind of like, so why didn't you run? You're not a civilian?
I was at the Lucky Stump back over there, saw people rushing in, screaming, and then heard something on the roof. Had to
And
come
you-
out and check it out.
And you heroically saved the day.
I was just trying to help.
She's very handy with her fist, as you can see.
I can, as there is for the second time I mentioned a hole in its head.
Yeah,
Was that
she.
not good enough?
Say that again?
Was that not good enough?
No. It was too good. I like it. So who are y'all?
Just travelers that needed here to stay for a couple of nights?
Yes, you seem to have gathered in from all different regions of this area, and I mean, we all have our own motivations, and probably for your own protection, it's better to you don't know about Theo and myself and Hellscream's origins. But
You don't have to worry about me.
good. But we're mainly in the business of making money and killing things.
I kind of like.
It seems like you like to enjoy killing things too.
I like to explore, discover, and then kill. That's very much my motto. I don't like complacency. I don't. How do you say? Boring.
Well, it's not boring. It hasn't been boring for a while for us.
And then this making money. You're not assassin, right?
No, I'd like to tinker things and make things go boom.
I saw that. You might have to do some fun stuff to my shotgun, if you might.
We'll see. It's pretty impressive heat you're packing there.
Yes, and I kind of like smack it a little bit, and I'm like, I saw the blunderbuss, and I decided to use cartridge instead of just shit and powder. It creates a lot more focused explosion, gives me a little more range, and it's good for birds, which is the easiest thing to kill. I like to travel simple, so I don't bring a lot of rations and whatnot, keeping your feet light. A
Respect.
hunter. How bad's the inn looking?
Are you guys making your way towards the inn?
Well, I think as we're talking, I'm kind of
Because I mean, you guys are like where you guys were butchering wasn't really the inn. It was just like a couple of establishments down from it, where this you could see it was what used to be a fragrance shop of some sorts.
I think we were working our way out of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We were talking.
Mechanicus, are you with the group, by the way?
I was gonna.
No,
I was trying to.
Yes.
he's basically tried to cast a spell, and now he's just kind of laid out wherever he got knocked. He's got like 2 health left.
Do I see him since I walked out of the perfume shop?
I mean, if he's still outside of the square, you would probably notice him with some of the other remaining
he's laid
corpse of
prone.
the guards.
Next to the corpse of the guard
Yeah,
who got
He's got like a spike sticking out of his shoulder.
I rush over to help my Mechanicus to check on him.
While that's happening, you do see that there are more guards just scrambling around trying to figure out what happened. You can see at least 2 of them managed to go to the fragrance shop, as you can see one of them kind of just scratching his head and looking down at the remains of the manticore that you guys just butchered. There's a moment where if you guys notice that the person that you would imagine was probably the owner of the establishment, he's like pointing towards you guys. You can see one of the guards at least like look over to you guys.
I still have blood on my hands because I haven't gotten them off yet. Clean them
I
off.
told the guards that he needs help cleaning his shop.
Medic? And I kind of point at Mechanicus.
Oh, him? He's the old man of the group.
Oh, he's with y'all.
Oh yes, that's May's. Is he your grandfather?
Let's just call it that.
Yeah,
And
Omen,
I look to
Omen, you
my
didn't notice
Mechanicus.
through that whole exhibition, you didn't notice any incantation from Mechanicus. You just saw an old man. If at the very least, you probably just saw him with a rifle, or I'm sorry, not even a rifle, it's a musket.
Okay.
If anything else.
I kind of go, I'm like, and I kind of utter, like, really quietly, like, dead weight. Interesting group.
I don't know. He seems to kind of bring a lot of luck to us. We just seem to be lucky every time he's around.
Ah, token old man. I like it.
I help May with him helping him up.
Did you see the flying flautist?
Yes. I actually saw him too.
Yes, I tried to.
And then he looks over at the newcomer.
Who is this?
I don't think I get his name, but you said your name was Oman?
People call me Omen.
Omen.
It's a trick that I do with my throat. It makes me sing.
Oh.
Kind of
You
like
got
a home
sing.
party trick with my old trade.
All right, Roman, you shall call me Portent. Now, I must get this out of my shoulder. I need to get some sleep. I have much to do tomorrow.
You did get a room, didn't you? At the end?
Yes, I still had my old room. It's quite fine. I removed the prostitute and her John and got rid of them.
Okay.
House
Come on.
cream. Oh, man. It's
So
okay.
he, go ahead. So
What was that thing?
Mike's gonna start kind of like slowly hobbling across the street. You can see him kind of like nursing his ribs, and he's got his left hand on his right shoulder trying to pull the spike out.
I'm gonna go over and help, and I'll use some like cloths and bandages and stuff. Just kind of like.
Do you know what you're doing with that boy?
I probably know more than you give it respect to.
I doubt that very seriously.
I like you, old man, and I like
Yes,
pull.
most
I
people do.
tug it like nice and good, like.
Oh, you just reach forward and just pop it like right out, like
Just
hold
pop it, like put a rag on and like and cinch it basically. Maybe get some stitches, stuff like that. With my med kit.
There's a moment where Hellscream is like walking, like beside you guys, and Omen, you notice this odd-looking hand coming from the back of Hellscream. As he's walking by, the hand just reaches out towards Mechanicus, and there is a subtle flash. As Mechanicus, you feel the wound stinging even more, then cauterizes.
Damn it, boy! Before you do things like that, you've got... Oh, it was you.
And then he just
You don't even see Voxy. She's like covered in like this, but you see her hands that came out of like this of this sheet that's like covering her, and then you just see the hand retract back in it. And Hellscream doesn't even notice. He's literally just walking.
just does that, just fucking.
He's walking, and it's like a drive-by heel from Voxy.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Trust me. We all have our secret.
I do not have secrets.
You take 9 points of healing, by the way, I guess.
Thank you, sir.
And what is your name, Portent?
I am Mechanicus Vandermont of the Guild of Letters.
Mechanicus, you know what? Make a history check, really quick.
God, I gotta remember my name.
Mechanicus Vanderbond?
Vanderbilt? Is it built?
20.
Is it dirty 20? You recognized the accent coming from Omen. You've met many before from the region, in the guild, and from other important individuals. You know that the accent does come from the north, in Zagoria, the Zagorian accent.
Okay.
Can I do a history check on a Guild of Letters? I'm not familiar with it.
Guild of Letters is you can go ahead and roll one, but it is still a common establishment.
Yeah, we're kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I got a 5, so I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, you've heard of the Guild of Letters or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's traveled up north. You've heard of them.
Okay.
Before. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not an uncommon thing that certain individuals probably brought up in conversation, but you've heard of it before. Not really too sure exactly what they do, but you've heard of it.
It's a pretty common guild. Interesting. Do they pay well?
It's just not about the money, child.
It's always about the money. That's how you keep going, isn't it?
No, it's not. We keep going by eating, drinking, and breathing. No money required.
Unless you gotta buy food, but...
That's my thought too. It's okay. I'm not easily offended. So,
Mechanicus just stares at him
Oh, you will be.
and then starts walking off.
Yeah, looks like, yeah, he does that all the time, don't worry. It's his natural nature.
I look back and I'm like, he's fucking wonderful. Didn't even say thank you.
I think when we all get that age, we'll just be like that too.
If I make it.
It's true.
So,
Drink to that.
I was just about to mention. Drinking and sleeping sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it's about that time. Especially after shooting some rounds.
Very.
I am not giving up my room for anyone this time.
No one asked.
You didn't have to.
Thank you.
He always knows what we're thinking somehow.
Shut up, Theo!
Go to your room.
You guys finally go through the threshold of the Lucky Stump, and you can see it's not as packed as it was before. Most of the individuals that were in here just hanging out and having their evening meals. or drinks. You can see some of them are outside of the establishment, looking around, just kind of being nosy in what's happening, trying to figure out the rundown and what the situation is. You can see a lot more individuals. Excuse me. You can see a lot more individuals start crowding the fragrant the establishment of like fragrance, as you can see the guys like literally in tears at this point. Those that do notice right before you guys go into the Lucky Stump, in there you can see already Hellscream, like by the large fire, literally with a rack of ribs, like just just roasting above it. As you can see him, he's just like turning it with whatever tongs like are available there. And he's minding his business right now. And it looks like he's already with a drink in hand as well.
Nice. I go to get a room for I guess is the room hold like about 2 people?
The rooms themselves, only 1 bed, but it's large enough to have
That people can
someone-
around.
Yeah, exactly.
Bedrolls.
Remember you and May had shared one,
Right.
and if I'm not mistaken, I think Jillian and I'm gonna say
Hellscream
I can't
and-
remember.
Hellscream and Meliodas slept on Theo's floor. They snuck in while he was
Yeah.
asleep,
Oh, that's right.
and Jillian and May shared one.
No, May was
And
with
then-
No,
No,
I was
no,
with Theo.
Meliodas and me slept out. Remember, we
you
left
guys went off.
and we're out in the
Yeah.
barn. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, actually, I think that was in Holmesworth.
So yeah, you had your room, and I
I don't know. I rolled low on my memory
Meliodas
check.
and Hellscream broke into your room. Jillian had her own room,
Right. Yeah, Jillian.
Oh.
had
and
her own room.
then
Well, Mechanicus, y'all all see Mechanicus make his way up the stairs, and then he opens the door to what was his old room, and you hear him screaming,
Get out, you harlot, and you flaccid little ferret! Go away! This is my room. I've already told you this.
There's
Okay.
like no one reacting in the room. There's nothing in there. I mean, no one.
Oh, they're not there.
and then you see him walk in, but he leaves the door open, and you see him begin to strip naked inside of this room before going to
I mean, if
bed.
anybody's like looking in, because you guys are like going up in a balcony at this point,
I got
like
you.
around the establishment. But as you guys come in and Mechanicus kind of makes his way into that room, May and Theo, Thomas kind of sidebars you. I'm assuming he's taking that room, and you will need rooms as well.
yes,
Yes.
I could
Just one
pay
more.
for my
It'll
own.
be fine.
Who's
Oh.
gonna pay for, that your friend up there?
I'll take care of it. I'll
Oh,
take care.
okay. Look, I'm just gonna give it a discount. Five silver.
Oh, is this the old man mentally disabled discount?
No, well, you guys,
I'm just kidding. It's right.
look, I saw some of what's happening out there, and I know what you guys did. By the way,
Oh.
I know what you guys are capable of, and I could see what he is capable of. But of course, we want to make sure that no one else does. Right?
Inside check.
Go ahead and roll.
16.
You could tell that he's really serious about the secrecy of what just happened, and with his remarks, you could tell that he. I mean, the fact that he has someone like Mechanicus in here, being that this whole ban of magic and aiding those that can do it, you could see that right away there is a cause for him to go out of his way to make sure that he's okay.
Okay.
And those of you noticed, remember last time when the Inquisitors came in here and pulled off that one dude and brought him in the middle of the square and torched him. you remember he was really upset about that when
That's
that
right.
happened.
Yeah.
I never saw her.
Oh, you weren't there? You didn't see that?
She was.
I was
Yeah,
bathhouse.
she was in the
So I
bathhouse. That's
missed
what
Oh.
happened.
all of that.
So only Theo and Hellscream
And
Jillian.
Jillian, yeah. Those only 3 of you guys actually saw that.
I look at the barkeep and I'm like, do you have any apples?
I can see what we have in the back. Jenny, come. Yeah, just check in the back. If we have any fruits, primarily apples. You see this younger barmaid. Just look at the rest of you guys and looks over at Thomas, and she just nods and goes towards the back. Just to go ahead and make a check to see if perhaps they were carrying any apples. As she does so, drinks. It's on the house. I can
Definitely.
see your friend over there is already partaking. By the way, I'm assuming you probably are.
Yeah, we're with him.
But by the way, are you with them too? He's pointing at you, Omen. We haven't met, by the way. I'm Thomas.
Thomas?
Part of this owner of this establishment, the Lucky Stump. As you can see, it's kind of not in the greatest condition right now. We might have to do a couple of fixes with whatever just happened out there. And I could see that you were among these individuals I already had acquainted myself with. And I'm assuming you're... Wait a minute. He's looking around. Where's the sweet little girl that you were with?
Theo kind of just
May looks
looks
to the
down.
ground.
Yeah.
I see. My deepest apologies. I know what it's like to lose someone you care for deeply. Please, anything you want, well, that I can provide. I'll bring the drinks for you guys. And he just walks away. You can see that now his face kind of changes, and you can see that there is a sense of dread. Coming back, you can see the barmaid. Not really with apples. You can see that there are a couple other accoutrements of like fruits. You can see that there are some grapes, and then some pears along this all-in-one bowl that she brings over, and she places in front of you guys. You can see the other bar patrons right now that are trickling back into the establishment. You can see, some of them just kind of conversing and from what just occurred and the interests of like what happens. Like, who'd have thought it's a feline, large feline, it's flying all over the place. You see that thing, and it's like, oh yeah, can't believe it just took out those, these guards. It's really disturbing. What is going on? You can hear them talking among each other and just the strangeness that's been happening, within, not just in town, but far off into, into the wilderness as well, from accounts.
I'm gonna go ahead and then put on my hood, just kind of like hide my face a little bit,
Right.
and then I'm just gonna kind of like slip the pear in my jacket to feed my bat. My little fruit bat.
You can see it's like coming out, just like not even sticking all the way out, but you can hear the little nibbling on the wet piece of fruit. And
Well, Theo picks the drink up and he just raises it up and he says, "To Jill and Melly, who left us too soon, but left us full of bravery and inspiration. And
You
he
see
drinks.
Hellscream comes along, and as he hears your toast, and he brings up his mug. Here. And he takes a swig as well as he pulls a face mask, just revealing just the bottom part of his mouth as he drinks.
Well, I have questions, but not to be too peering into personal affair. But I must be getting to bed soon. I'm sorry to hear you've lost a party member. Turns out I have quite some free time where I'm standing now, so I'm not for sale, but I do like company and I like to travel, so. And the old man is kind of a favorite of mine. I like them. They're just so honest, you know.
Yeah, it seems to be playing out that way, but yeah. I think you'll be an asset to us with that the weaponry you're holding. But I think it'll take some time for us to trust you a little bit.
That is perfectly okay. Don't worry, I won't. I have plenty of shit to worry about.
That's good with me. I kind of throw in I just add a piece of silver there as a tip for Thomas. Just like I do. And I kind of motion for Hellscream to come with me to the room. Mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
You muted.
Shit. Sorry. You just see Hellscream go towards the rack of ribs that's like roasting, and he just pulls from one of the ribs as he removes like this giant piece with like all this meat, and he just begins to. There's a moment where he just like stops. He brings it back up.
No.
Nope. He just throws it. He just throws it in the fire, and he just walks away. He's like, nope. And he just follows you, Theo, after that. Mechanicus, you're in your room now. No one is bothering you. There is a slight gap in the ceiling from whatever that creature had done when it was on top. You can see like there is a small opening. It's good. It's a good thing it's not raining. But you can see, just a little peak of moonlight coming through.
Okay. So at this point, he's butt-ass naked, laid on his bed with the door wide open. And he's going basically just lay back and stare through that crack at the sky and start like thinking about what I told you for downtime.
All right. Excuse me. As I'm imagining the rest of you begin to set aside your packs, get your designated rooms. Not sure if everybody established where they're going to sleep, but being that Thomas had made accommodations regardless, you figured you find a place you can stay. But with this new looming question of where these creatures came from, And who in the hell was that individual that seemed to be aligned with them? We're going to pick this up next session. You good, guys?
Bum bum bum.
Awesome.
Very cool.